and we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to For My ATL Sports One. We have Mr. Chris A1 Moore, Mr. Mark Cheney, and I think we may have Smitty coming to join us in a sec. Let me add him to the stage. All right, Smitty. Oh, Smitty. Well, he'll join us when
Hey,
he's ready.
what's up? I'm here.
Hey, Smitty, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's good, man?
All right, man. All right. We are live. We got Mr. Smitty, 10K from 95 North Sports Machine. And of course, Smitty has his own podcast as well as, Chris A1. Chris is also part of the 95 North team. He has his own podcast as well. And we got Mr. Mark Cheney, excuse me, Mr. 1,000 subscribers, Mark Cheney.
Hey,
Welcome,
there you go.
sir. Let's do it. Let's do it. Chris, I
Good. That's what's
I
up right
think
there.
you aren't you at 1,000 subscribers, Chris? Are you
No,
close?
not yet, man, not yet. I'm trying to cross the 850 mark right now.
Yeah, you
Been
close, brother. You close.
yeah,
Hey,
been spinning my wheels for a few days now, but it's all
amen.
good.
Amen. I'm at a whole 13. You're doing so much better than me, sir. So
Hey man,
hey,
all it takes is the right videos to hit the algorithm, man. You'll be just like Mark.
and that's what we
I'll
do.
take
So guys, today, I believe the draft is coming up on Wednesday, right?
Mm.
And so, most of the time with ATL Sports, we talk Braves, we talk Falcons. Today, we're going to get into some Hawks, gentlemen, because I'm from the ATL. I've been here for about 50 years, and I am a homer. So that means I love my Braves, I love my Falcons, I love my Hawks, I love my Dogs, I love my Atlanta United. And when we get a hockey team, I want to love them too. So without further ado, let's get into it, right? And here's what I want to talk about today. The Hawks obviously have the number one pick, right? And for a long time, the obvious pick has been Alex Sarr, French player. And I'm hearing rumors from a lot of sources that say not only does he not want to come to the Hawks, but he's refusing to come and work out with us, which kind of offends me. But my first question, and I'll throw it out to the panel, and Mark, we'll start with you. Mark is also a Bleacher Report team member, and he covers the Hawks and other teams. Mark, what are your thoughts on this? Like, I'm hearing this from multiple sources, so to a certain extent, it has to be true. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, hey, for months, I guess a month, we thought it was a good chance the Hawks were going to draft Alex Sarr. Then,
Yeah,
like you said, man, this past week, it's looking like he made that right turn. So, man, I don't know how to feel, man. I'm not taking it personal. I'm looking at it probably the same way his agent's looking at it. There's not really a clear position for Alex Sarr. And when you look at the Atlanta Hawks, there's not a clear role for him. When you look at our current roster, you got Clint Capella and Yeka, you got Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter. You got a lot of moving pieces. So I can see how him and his team, they're saying, you know what? Let's just tell Atlanta, don't even come this way. Don't even think about drafting us because we want to put our guy in the best position possible. So that's what I'm trying to tell myself over these past couple of days, man. It's not Atlanta. It's not the city of Atlanta. It's just the Hawks roster that's making him and his team say, "Don't even do it, fam. Don't even do it."
Okay, all right. That's an interesting point. Brother Chris, you and I talked about this last night. Tell me your thoughts on this. Why do you think Alex Sarr is reluctant to come to the ATL, so to speak?
Hey man, it's like I was saying yesterday, and I'll say today. It's the ghosts of Hawks past still affecting its present and future. One name is just connected to this whole thing, and that is Mr. Bill Duffy. Bill Duffy is the agent of Alex Sarr, who is also the agent of Luka Doncic, who was the agent back in 2015 for Al Horford, who is also the agent of Trent Forrest right now. You guys remember Omari Spellman for the Hawks? Yeah, he was his agent too. So it's a lot of that one name is surrounded around Atlanta, and I believe he is telling his clients, Atlanta, the organization, because we've had different regimes, we've had different ownerships, different front offices. He has an issue with Atlanta, the organization as a whole. And I believe he's in the ear of his clients telling them, hey, Atlanta's not serious. Atlanta doesn't want to win this, that, and the third, anything but something positive in regards to Atlanta. And I believe that's exactly what's going on. It's supposed to be business. Everything's supposed to be business, but just laying out those names that I just gave you and just different reports of what you've heard. And you can even find it that Bill Duffy does not have a great relationship with Atlanta. You bottle all that up, shake it up, and you got combustible elements. And I believe that's what's going on for Atlanta right now. Not to mention you got Schlenk over there in Washington.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that too. So Atlanta is stuck in between the rock and the hard place, with the rock being Bill Duffy and the hard place being Washington. And really, you want Sarr, but Sarr is hearing so many bad things from both sides of the paint, from both sides of the argument. So it's tough for Atlanta, y'all. It's tough for us. Like right now, I mean, I see that we're still willing to draft Sarr anyway, and I believe you can't be afraid to do that if you feel like he's going to be the best situation for your organization.
So one could draw the comparison. I'm sorry, as Mike. Is it Mike Florio, the guy that hates the Falcons, the journalist or whatever? So Bill, what's his name? Bill, what's his last name?
Bill Duffy.
Bill Duffy is the Mike Florio of the NBA as far as the Hawks are concerned. Like, he has a major, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing what you're saying. He has a major axe to grind with us, and he's doing so. It sounds like this is personal with him. Would you agree this is personal with him, or is it just he's looking out for his client? Because at this point, it feels a little personal.
I mean, it feels personal, and in his mind, he could make it be like, no, it's business because I am looking out for my client, looking out for his best interest. And at the end of the day, man, the thing that makes it sad is the fact that when people say what they say about Atlanta and their front office not wanting to win, blah, blah, blah,
the narrative.
They can pull up receipts and they can pull up, examples of that. So if you just start from 2015 on up, you can find something that you'd be like, that's odd. That's odd. Why are they doing that? Why did they do this? Why? That's a questionable move. And it's just different things, different examples that you can give a client and say, hey, look at this move. Does this make sense to you? Hey, let me break this down to you. Does this make sense to you? Do you want to be a part of that? And it's just so many damaging things that you can do, and examples that you can use against Atlanta. I hate it. I really do, but it's out there and it's the truth.
Okay. Smitty, are you out there?
Yeah, I'm still here, man. Just listening. That's all. And me and Chris, me and Chris been talking about this for about a week now.
Well, let's get into it, Smitty. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Smitty, what do you think? Number one, and I'm going to kind of expound upon this. Number one, what do you think about the narrative that the Hawks do not want to win? And number two, do you think that Alex Sarr's agent has an axe to grind with the Hawks?
Oh, no doubt about it. Okay. And it started with Al Horford, like Chris said years ago. And that's one of the reasons why he's not in Atlanta and the reason why he's in Boston and went to Philadelphia as well. But it's not that the organization does not want to win. It's just that the front office doesn't know how to put a winning team in place. And what I mean by that, you've got to spend money, as me and Chris and you've talked about, and me and Mark even talked about it. You got to spend to win. And that's probably what his agent pretty much telling him, man. They're not going to spend the necessary money to build a championship team around you. And like I said on the podcast, I think it was last night or the night before, think about it. If you want to build a championship team, you got to start somewhere. And right now, they're in the perfect position because you have three solid players, young players that you can build around. Jalen Johnson, Trae Young, and DeJounte Murray forever. How long he's going to stay here?
Yeah.
And you add an Alex Sarr to that, and add a couple of bench players. You already have AJ Griffin. You have Bogey. You have DeAndre Hunter. So you have a nice couple of pieces on the bench. So he could be the missing piece. And if I'm him, I would start thinking, and I know he's young, so his mind is not, developed enough to think far ahead, like older guys like myself.
Right.
But I'm just telling you, man.
Being an honorary member, shout out to the old dudes. I'm with you. Go ahead, Smith.
He could easily get into the mindset. Well, if they're not a winning franchise, how can I help make this franchise better? How can I bring something to this franchise to help them get off on the right foot to build a championship contending team? And as I tell y'all, every point guard needs a big man. So your point guard is in place. So if I'm him, I would definitely try to look for another agent, because I think in the long run, his agent is going to cost him money and cost himself money. So, Alex Sarr, trust me, you were listening to this. Yeah, you were listening to this, and when you get 10, 15 years down the road and you have to talk to your younger self, you might slap yourself. Because, this is beginning to be laughable now, because like I said, me and Chris talked about this last week. We pretty much seen this coming out. The reports came out last week. One thing you can't do with a kid is dim his light, and that's exactly what the agent is doing. Because if he don't have a confidence to come to one team, what make you think he's gonna have confidence in another team that's just as bad? It just doesn't make sense to me. And actually, the Hawks have a better roster than the Wizards.
I would, I would think so, right? Because when they say, well, he's going to the Wizards, I'm like, they're at least 3-4 years away. Like they're not, you know what I mean? And so
right.
I guess, okay. So number one, guys, let's take a step back. Fair or not fair? The narrative out there that the Hawks can't win. We just went to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple of years ago, right? What happened? Where does this narrative of the Hawks not being able to win?
Bro?
Like we just
hey, that's a great question.
What happened?
Shoot, man, we started paying and trading everybody. And shoot, that's for starters. Shoot, man.
Yeah.
I mean, is that the result of a GM? Like, did we pay the wrong people? Like, let's get into it, right? Because look, I'm ATL down. I'm ATL all day. I really want to fix my Hawks. Not that they care what I think or should care, but just for the sake of discussion, what the hell happened? Like, did we pay the wrong guys? Were we wrong in paying Hunter? Were we wrong in playing John? Who'd we trade to Utah? John
Collins.
Was that a bad deal?
Herter.
Like, have we?
Terrible deal.
I didn't agree with trading Kevin Herter, but did you guys agree with the contract that we got? Like let's get into that, because Smitty talked about you got to spend the money, but you also have to spend the money in the right way. Some players. Oh my God, I can't talk. Some players you pay, some you let go. Right?
We jumped the gun, brother. We jumped the gun. This is just my personal opinion on what should have happened.
Okay.
What should have happened. All right, boom. So we get eliminated by the Bucks.
Yeah.
Everybody should have been on the trade block except for Trae Young. Everybody should have been open for it. But instead, what we did was we paid everybody. A lot of those guys, like Kevin Herter, okay, I understand. You know what got Kevin Herter paid, though? That game 7 against Philly. I'm telling you, if he does not have that game, I don't think he gets paid. But he had that game and he continued, and honestly, he had a decent playoffs period, like period that. Now, where he's gone since then, I mean, I guess he's fell off a cliff because I haven't heard too much about him, out there in Sacramento this year. So I don't know what happened with that. But for me, I just wouldn't have paid everybody. A lot of these guys, we were seeing how the team clicked together in this kind of run. I think the front office just jumped the gun and was like, hey, we're here. This is the team that can compete, instead of going to see if they can run it back to just see if this was just a mirage or, see, it was just fool's gold. They paid.
Haven't we heard that story before, Chris?
Yeah, bro.
Heard that story before with the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah, bro.
Come on now. So, I mean, that's just something. I don't know what it is. Sometimes you can just overthink things, and most of the time that's what the Hawks do, because I told people, do not pay John Collins. Try to get rid of him. I don't care if you have to trade him for a 6-pack of Coke and a pack of Funyuns. Let him go, because he's just not that dude. And you pay him $25 million a year.
Yeah, it was a bad deal. I wouldn't have gave him the contract. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't have done it. I just wouldn't have done it, just because the long-term solution, we've already seen that it's times where John Collins, doesn't show up for you. Mm-hmm. For the contract that you give him, he still didn't show up. The next thing you know, he had the finger. And honestly, after that finger got all swole up in what it is and started affecting his shot, I feel like it really started affecting his shot. I feel like he was knocking down more threes, more jump shots, period, before he got that I forgot what it was exactly called, but you know how swollen his finger was when he had the fracture and everything. And after that, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, his finger is still a little swollen a little bit from that. So it hasn't even fully healed properly. Yeah. And I feel like that affected his shot, which made his percentages go down as well. But ultimately, I'll come back to it again. Trey was on fire. He did his thing. He led us. Of course, he should be there. But it's other guys that you prioritize, and the other guys that you paid, that you ship them off because you're trying to stay up underneath the cap. If you're trying to stay underneath the cap from the get-go, and why are you paying all these guys anyway instead of just seeing what they have? And then you also got to question their moves anyway, just because of what's going on in the facility. I'm talking about State Farm Arena. Guys, it feels more like a club scene in there than an actual basketball environment. I've seen couples, I've seen groups of people come and celebrate in the State Farm Arena and not even be paying the game any attention, just because it is that club environment there. People not even sitting down.
Some would say, Chris, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
If you put a winning franchise in front of them, they'll pay attention, right? If you start to win, like if you build it, they will come. If you start to win, right? But I hear you, and I think that is a byproduct of, we're not winning, so we're gonna let you do this. Please come, because we still need to sell tickets, right? But and I'm not saying that's right.
That's why that also feeds the narrative, though, about Trae Young being a meal ticket in a way, or just an entertainment piece. And anything that comes down here too, you just doing it for entertainment, just to get butts in the seat, but you're not necessarily trying to win. Which could go back to what Bill Duffy could possibly be saying to his client, Alex Sarr. Hey, man, you're just going to be a part of that circus. We don't want you part of that. We want you part of some real development. Yeah, the Wizards may be further down the road than where the Hawks are, but if you go to Atlanta, it's going to be a lot of pressure on you to compete, to aid this team that's desperately trying to get back to the playoffs, desperately trying to get back to being relevant. It's going to be more pressure on you. If you come to our Wizards, it won't be as much pressure. You get the proper development and you won't be rushed. But to me, all it is just still running from the grind. If you don't come to it, if you let somebody else run you off from Atlanta, you'd be running from the grind.
Okay. Mark, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I think we had some we just gave out some bad contracts. They came up at bad times. The guys performed well during their contract year. They got their bag, and then they forgot how to dribble. They forgot how to play. So I think that's kind of what we saw. But kind of going to A1's point, I think there's an understanding, and people are hearing around the league, of how our ownership works. I don't think we have a bad owner, but I think how he operates can scare people off. We got to remember, Travis Slank quit. I mean, he built a solid team and quit. And so kind of like I think Chris said this, Travis is probably letting people know around the league. People are probably calling, hey, what's going on in Atlanta? Like, how was your last work experience? Like, how was it working, in Atlanta? And Travis probably kept it real. Like, hey, it's a good opportunity, but they got a teenager. They got a young man running the team. They got the owner's son running the team.
Yeah, didn't his son make the suggestion to trade Herter while Link was still there? Well, Clink, whatever his name is.
He definitely pushed the narrative. Well, it's rumored that Trey wanted DeJounte. And it's rumored that he made sure that it happened, Schlenk was like, no, let's not give up this draft capital. Yes, he's an all-star. Yes, he's a great player, but let's just look elsewhere and try to see what other deals we can make. Nah, it's okay, Travis. And as a matter of fact, while you at it, you can go ahead and head on out the door if you want to, because we're going to go ahead and make this trade. We know you don't like it. We don't want any kind of bad blood between us and you. So we're going to give you your walking papers. You can go on about your business, sir. And we're going to go ahead and make this trade. And so you're still not going to ever get that value back. Regardless,
not 5 second round picks. Yeah, no. Yeah. You said we traded 5 second round picks for him, right?
No, that's for Saddiq Bey.
Yeah, that was for Bey.
That was for Saddiq Bey. We traded 3 first rounds for DeJounte Murray.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
So we don't have
8 draft picks.
Damn.
Right.
Wow.
One of them. I thought a lot of it too was the Luka trade. I think that's kind of when it starts. We've all worked somewhere where your manager might do something, but you kind of brush it to the side, or you might say, okay, well, you're my boss. And Mark Cuban, he's made it very clear that the trade wasn't going to happen until he called the owner himself. He said, yo, let's do a deal together. And that's how the Luka trade happened. So I'm sure Travis is a lot of people know how he felt about that. It don't make it any better that I think it's safe to say that Luka was probably the better player, even though we did get Trae Young and a pick. That can't be forgotten in the trade. But again, when you combine all these things, I think it does go back into what Chris was saying with Bill Duffy. I think there's a big narrative around our ownership and how we operate. And if I can pick somewhere else, and kind of I think Chris said this, or maybe Smitty said this, you got less pressure in Washington. You go out there and stuck in Washington. For a year.
And they'll let you figure it out.
Yeah, they'll let you figure it out. In Atlanta,
you could bring him on slowly in a way, compared to we would kind of need him to kind of develop a little bit more quickly, just because we would need his perimeter defense, his his all around abilities, his attributes. We would need it on the court, and we would need it soon. So, I can understand why Ricochet or Klingon can now be the favorite, because it's a lot of stuff that's going on, and I don't know if our front office, namely Landry Fields, necessarily has the gall, the stones, the cojones to just still take Sarr anyway. Me, I'm taking Sarr, and we're going to figure it out from there. But
one thing they could do, though, one thing I feel like they could do to turn this thing around, make a trade with Washington. See what they'll give you for the number 1 pick. You just move down one spot. If you're not going to trade Sarr, you get something out of it. Yeah, they want Jordan Poole gone. Kyle Kuzma wants out. If you can get one of those veteran players along with that number 2 pick, I say hell, go for it. Because at the end of the day, you still need veterans. I'm just saying they want him out. You could trade for him and then send him off somewhere else and get more draft picks, even second-round picks. So it's a way to work around this. If Sarr doesn't want to come here, hey, use it to your advantage. Move down one spot, get some players and some picks, and try to recoup some of that what you lost for DeJounte Murray and Saddiq Bey. So that would be another way I would look at it. But I could be wrong.
See, what I think that's what they're trying to do, Smitty. I think they're trying to save face, because there's been reports that, okay, well, he hasn't worked out here, but we still like him. We still watch his film. We still seen him up close. We still like him, and they're trying to throw that out there so they could still trade the pick. Because as of now, people are saying, well, we know Sarr ain't going to Atlanta. So
that's
I
how
think
people feeling.
So that's what I'm saying. The best thing you could do as an organization now, if I'm the Hawks, is still entertain, hey, we will still draft this guy. You know, we still want to, get him. If you want him, you got to come up and get him, because otherwise he won't be available at 2. I think that's the best thing we can do. But the reality is we can't draft him. At this point, we cannot draft him.
No,
and honestly, I feel like every team knows this now. I think teams around the league, they're like, y'all not drafting him. Y'all bluffing. He's in Atlanta right now.
And he refuses.
He has not worked out with a team.
He's been here the last 2 years, and still haven't done anything with the Hawks.
He's talk to him without talking to Duffy.
He's actually probably played pickup ball with some of the Hawks players. Just think about that. So if you've been around this city for 2 years and you don't want to play here, that can only be the agent. Because what do you really know about the city outside of the financial ramifications?
Yeah.
You know about moving around the city. You know where everything is, but you don't want to play here? Oh, yeah. Somebody's in this area. If it isn't his agent, it's his parents or somebody, or his friend or somebody. So, just use it to your advantage. And if you think Clean can fall down to number 4, go get the 2 picks from the Spurs and just rebuild from that point. And it's actually 3 centers in this draft. Another kid from Serbia that nobody's talking about. That probably can end up in the middle to the bottom of the first round. So, use it to your advantage.
So, guys, we brought up some topics, and especially what Mark alluded to. Like, it's really got me thinking. It feels like the Hawks are kind of run like the Cowboys, in that you have a coach and a GM, but we ultimately know where the power rests. And if a coach or a GM pisses off the player, well, I'm just gonna go to daddy. I'm just gonna tell daddy. And so guys, here's my question, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys have not won a championship since Jimmy Johnson. We all know that he and Jerry Jones fell out. They've buried the hatchet since then. If what we've alluded to, which is owners and owners' sons making deals above and over the head of GMs, is this a healthy franchise? Can we continue to operate this way?
I think the Cowboys are too good for the Atlanta Hawks, and I hate this. That pains my heart to even say that. But
I'm going to edit that out of the way
about the Cowboys, and I'm
going to edit that comment.
Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, I'm going to edit that comment. I'm just.
Hey man,
I'm going to edit that.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, from the things that's been going on, first of all, at least they got some championships. The last thing that I heard about the Atlanta Hawks happened in St. Louis. It didn't even happen in Atlanta for us.
Damn.
So let's start there.
Wow.
Then on top of that, I feel like Atlanta more feels like almost like AEW over the Dallas Cowboys. For those who watch AEW and knows what's going on with them and how the Sun is running that and all stuff like that, I would feel more going that way than the Cowboys. Because
damn.
Oh boy, yeah, my bad, y'all. I don't mean to be like that.
Damn,
I don't. Trust me, I ain't trying to give no credit to the Cowboys, Dallas, nobody, nothing.
I'm gonna have to call a penalty on you,
nothing.
Chris.
So, but it's just
15-yard penalty on Chris.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. That's just how. I'm just letting you know. That's just how bad we are.
The bad thing about it. The Clippers and the Minnesota Timberwolves have been more relevant than the Hawks the last 5 years.
Come on, y'all.
Just think about that.
Yeah.
Listen to that.
Yeah.
Listen to that. You remember the last time that the Timberwolves made it as far as they did? It was like 2002. It was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. That was with KG, right? Man. KG was with them. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we made an Eastern Conference Final 4 whatever years ago. I mean, it's not like it's been 20 years. We just kind of fell off.
We made it with the 60-win team.
Yeah.
But one
So
thing
we've done
about
it
it is,
twice.
bro, we itching for a finals, man, regardless of what
Okay.
it is. I don't care what nobody say. When Trae Young stepped on that referee ankle, I don't know, man. I feel like
I feel like we
I
would have
had to
won
go.
it.
I had to
I
go
feel
have
like
a
we
good
would have
talk
won it.
with God, because I ain't gonna lie, I just felt some things in me that I shouldn't have felt, because we're
I
just so
agree.
itching just to get back to the finals. We're itching to
Mhm.
get to a finals. I'm sorry,
Yes.
y'all. It's to
Yes.
get to a finals.
Agreed.
So
Agreed 100%. I felt, look, I felt the same way you felt when that happened with Trae. I felt that way when that idiot Dellavedova played football and basically took out Kyle Korver and another player and
right.
ended up like that. Pissed me.
Kyle was
how
never
we
the
could
same
still
after
be-
that.
Well, no, it ended Kyle's career, but the point is, why was he not ejected? Like you could clearly see it was intentional. Like it was, whatever. I'm not bringing up old stuff, but the point is, guys, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? How do we as a franchise fix this? And do you think this is going to go on with Quinn? And to somebody brought up our GM. I feel like he's cute and cuddly, and I don't feel like he's I do. I don't.
I don't think he has the stones to do it, bro.
I don't either.
Pause.
I don't think he's a pushback guy. And no disrespect to him, he just comes off as a yes man. You guys agree or no? Like, what do you think?
Oh man, the thing about it is, that's immediately what I thought as soon as he was hired. I was like, Landry Fields. I said, you went from Travis to Landry. I said, yeah, you just wanted somebody who wasn't going to combat you. That's all you wanted. That's exactly what I said. And then, at the same time, it's just like, as far as like the team wise and everything like that, like I'm a fan. I care about the team. I'm not looking to burn any bridges, but we're just having the conversation. We're just pulling out the facts. We're pulling out stuff that anybody can pull out, So
look, everybody on here loves the Hawks. Everybody on here is from that ATL from day one. I don't, we wouldn't be on the show if we wouldn't. So obviously we love our team, and we're not being negative, but sometimes you got to be a little honest.
Yeah, and if he wasn't a yes man, he would not be here, because Bud would have never left. He was building the team the way he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And when Bud tried to build a team his way, he got ran out of town. Schlink did the same thing when he tried to build a team the way that he wanted to, that he felt was the best. He got ran out of town. So what do? You go find somebody that's going to follow every instruction that you give them, just like you said, like the Dallas Cowboys. When Jerry Jones pull a string, you go along with it, or guess what? You ain't got a job.
Or you gone, right? So I get my question is, guys, do we blow up the team? Right? Let's just put our cards.
No. Major no.
Do we blow up the team?
I don't think we blow
up. Trade everybody.
Please,
right?
No. I don't even think we're ready as fans to even just go through a rebuild right now. Can you imagine them coming out on draft night and saying, yeah, we're going to blow this thing up, and we can expect to not be in the playoffs for at least the next 3 to 4 years. Y'all come on out and support us now, because we're going to do the best we can with what we got for the next 3-4 years. Season tickets, they're going up because we're doing renovations to the stadium, though. And come on, bro. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, the reality of the situation is, because I clearly disagree with the fellas at the bottom of the screen. I think it is time to blow it up, but we're not in a position. We can't blow it up because we don't have any picks the next couple seasons.
Right.
So we can't blow it up. Again, it goes back into how we got into this problem while giving out all those bad contracts. That's just where we're at now. It's like the timing. We just been very unfortunate, unlucky with injuries, with timings of the contracts. Again, think about how ironic this is. We had a 3% chance to get the number 1 pick. We went against all odds to get the number 1 pick in the worst draft class ever.
Right. So I said, can I say this number 1 pick for next year? This guy's flag that's supposed to be coming out next year, and I want to use it then.
My God. That's what I'm saying. Again, the timing, we're just even when we're lucky, we're still unlucky. Even going back to the Eastern Conference Finals run, I was at the game. I guess I had to be game 3 when Giannis got hurt, and it's like, it's like, here's our chance. And then Trey gets hurt. It's like, what the hell? Like, so again, man, like, I think we should blow it up because I think we're approaching that dead end, man. We got
yeah, but the thing about blowing it up, Mark, who's going to become the face of this team if you blow it up? I mean, that means you got to go out and find another superstar player. I mean, you got to go out and spend more money to try to bring another star player here, which you can't do without a star player that's already here. Mm-hmm. And what you gonna do? Tank like the 76ers did 10 years ago?
5, 6, 7
you can't even do that no more.
Trust the process.
It's
exactly.
Tough. Trust the
you can't
trust the process
though. Tanking is not like how it used to be though.
Yeah. Look, it's a conundrum because to Mark's point, we don't have any number 1 picks for the next 3 years?
That's what I'm saying.
2 years? We don't have any number 2 picks. So is there even a 3rd round in the NBA?
No, we need them to add one so we can get some draft picks.
We don't have any, right? So we can't. Yeah. We're literally, Chris. We talked about this last night. We are literally between a rock and a hard place. But I think that rock is the bad decisions that we made with those contracts. Yeah. And the hard place is we don't have any picks. So if we can't blow it up, guys, what can we do? Can we sign a player that is maybe a 3-and-D that's a superstar that can help us? Because our main issue is on the nights we score 130, we give up 140.
We've already painted the picture, and this is not going to make y'all feel any better. But okay, so we have no future draft picks, right?
Right.
Nothing worth it. So okay, we have really no real moves to really make in between. Then you got to think about this. Okay, so now we may need to trade maybe the number 1 to try to get more picks, right? But here's the thing about that. We still have the same front office in place, which means the rest of the league may not even still be a dance partner with you or give you the value you're looking for just off of your front office and your face card. Your face card ain't solidified and it ain't good. So therefore, I may try to lowball you. I'll give you maybe like a 1st round and maybe like a 2nd round 5 years from now or something, just to try you, because you're not stable, you're not solidified. This really your first time you've had a top 10, talking about Landry Fields. This is your first experience of having a top 10 pick. So let's see how you do it. You're not an experienced GM. You're not fully respected around the league from what it seems. I could be totally wrong. I'm just from the outside looking in.
Okay.
So that's another problem you would have to find what dance partner is going to give you the value that you want.
Yeah.
Mark, so we have multiple problems.
Yeah, no.
I agree. We have multiple problems.
I agree with you 100%. I guess my question is like, Mark, let me ask you this, and this is for the panel, Chris. So Chris and I talked last night for about an hour and a half, and let me tell you something about this guy. Chris is brilliant, and now I'm not going to share everything we talked about. We talk. But Chris came up with some scenarios, and I was like, damn. And one of the things he said that I completely agree with, and I'm like, why the hell didn't I think about this, is that positive or negative, this is a pivotal moment for Atlanta because the world is watching. Maybe not to the extent that the NFL draft is, but the world is watching the Hawks as an organization. And to the extent that they get this wrong or poo-poo it, changes will have to be made, right? So either way, if they get it right, if they get it totally wrong, where when they were talking about the Falcons and how they were completely yahoos for drafting Penix, I think that you had credentials and personnel in-house that said, no, they know what, they're on the right path. I don't know that we have that as a franchise, right? So I'm going to open it up to the panel.
And it comes down to trust too, Terry.
Right. But if we poo-poo this and really look bad, right? And it's just a question, right? I'm not predicting either way. We could get it right. We could hit a home run. If we poo-poo this, do you guys think that changes will be made? And when I say changes, I just don't mean GMs. I mean, do you think ownership will take a look at themselves and say, guys, we got to do something? Our entire
ownership ain't gonna have to do it. If they bring in somebody in this draft that Trey don't want to play with, it's gonna already be hell on water. Because guess what? He's seen the pinnacle of getting all the way to the Eastern Conference Final, and just 3 years later, you mean to tell me you can't put a winning product on the floor? Your star player's not gonna be happy with that. Point blank, period. So if he's not happy, then guess what? He asked for a trade. You're gonna have to blow it up anyway. So it's all in their hands about what the next step gonna be. So what you do, you go down, and they probably already done it. Sit down with Trey, see which player best fits his style. And I know it sounds a little selfish from a player's perspective, but at the same time, he's the star player. He's the guy that sells tickets. So guess what? You got to make him happy before you make anybody happy. And one thing you better not do, you got a superstar in the making in Jalen Johnson. Make sure he's a no-trade commodity. Because if somebody talk you out of Jalen Johnson, the fans gonna be pissed. The NBA gonna be laughing, and we all gonna be sitting here the next 5 to 10 years talking about what could have been.
Is there any scenario out there that Jalen Johnson is traded this offseason?
I hope not,
because you don't
have
picks. Let's hear me out. Because you don't have picks, you don't have assets. You just don't. And I don't want to trade Jalen Johnson, okay? Never in life do I want to trade Jalen Johnson. I'm going to put it like this, Chris.
I'm going to put it like this. The only way that would be a thing that crossed my mind if this team was only one player away, which it's not. It's not one player away, so you do not think about it.
Yeah, there's definitely no way you move JJ. I mean, if you ask me, the player you move is Trae Young, man. You know, I think
this chat getting ready to go stupid. Go ahead, Mark. You took it there. Go ahead.
You know, I think that's our out, man. You know, that's our out, and it goes kind of to Smitty's point. When you sit down with somebody, you try to figure out the next move. I think you sit down with Quinn Snyder. He's a guy that's respected around the league. You know, Trae Young's not respected around the league. So why would you sit down with a 6'1" point guard and try to continue to build around him versus, hey, we just got this coach, you know, we pay him all this money. You know, sit down with him and figure out, you know, which direction you want to go. Without having Trae Young's input, without having DeJounte Murray's input, you know, because we saw it last season when Trae Young did not play. You know, we had a solid product on the floor. You know, we so to me, that shows me that Quinn Snyder is more valuable than Trae Young when it comes to winning in 2024. And to me, like, that's our out. You know, I've been saying it. I think if we can come away with some unprotected picks, maybe a role player, you know, that's not a bad position to be at. But, like, I think we all agree, man, we in a funky place, man. And sometimes when you're down bad, you got to do things you don't want to do. But it's only temporary. And I just don't see a world. Again, I love me some Trae Young, man. I was on his bandwagon early. I don't see a world where Trae Young is the best player on a championship team. Can y'all really say that confidently, that Trae Young will be so good in the playoffs ever again, that he'll be the difference in every series he plays in? And again, we saw him get exposed against Miami. We saw him get exposed against Chicago, even though he was injured. But to me, he's not a playoff point guard. So this idea that he's a superstar, okay, he is a great player, but are we confident he's going to be a great player in the playoffs? Do we think he'll be able to play defense in the playoffs?
I don't know
his performances in the playoffs
have been
think
stellar.
about it is everybody has off games and everything, but if you look at his playoff, like when he has been in the playoffs, even going against Boston, the last time he faced them in the playoffs, that was Trae Young. That wasn't DeJounte Murray. Yeah, he helped, but that was Trae Young. I mean, you go back to that Milwaukee series before we even got DeJounte. Who was that? You go back to the Sixers series, even though Trae had a terrible game 7, absolutely atrocious game 7. He kept us in that series.
He did.
He ended the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? He is the focal point, and he is the reason why Miami homed in on him and said, if we stop this guy, they have nobody else that we are worried about. Yeah, we get 35 from DeAndre Hunter one game, right? But you look at the whole makeup, Trae is the centerpiece. You stop him, you stop the Hawks. That has just been the end all and be all. You stop Trae, you stop the Hawks. How about get some jokers around him that can do something when he is stopped? I mean, that's what they tried to do when they bringing in DeJounte.
I mean, of course that sounds good, but it's easier said than done. If you had to build a perfect team around Trae Young to have success in the playoffs, let another team do it. Is how I see it. Man, with our situation, we look at the cap, you look at our picks, you know, the money coming in, money going out. To me, it just makes more sense to go on to bite that bullet now, because I'm gonna tell you now, Trae Young ain't gonna play here forever. So there's gonna be a day when Trae Young is not here.
Yeah.
So and that's okay. So again, that's just where I'm at, because I think we all agree. We go out there and we look like, you know, would you say Terry Boo Boo? Then Trae Young gonna ask to be traded in. And that's been my argument with this team over the past couple of seasons. Not only have we given bad contracts, but we waited too long to trade players. We have this connection to them.
Yeah.
John Collins. Kevin Huerter, not necessarily, but we had to trade Kevin because of the money. You know,
I'm gonna ask this real quick. How many point guards in the league right now that you would say are two-way players or is like good on defense?
Not
point
many.
Guards.
Not many.
Not many.
I'm just saying, outside of Drew Holiday, name, and we're talking about point guards, not guys that handle the ball. Strictly point guard.
Jimmy's not a point.
No, Jimmy's a 2. Jimmy's always been a 2 or a 3, depending on what team you're playing.
I mean,
I think LaMelo Ball is decent when it comes to two-way play, but he's not a guy that's going to lock down the other. He's not going to lock anybody down. So when you talk about today's NBA, what they think about is scoring, and that's every player on the court. That's why it's a positionless sport now. So when you talk about what you're gonna get in today's game, if you end up with a guy like DJ on the same in the same backcourt with Trae, a guy who doesn't play defense, you got to keep him. And I agree with Mark. If you're gonna blow it up now. Get some for Trae while you can, because he's still young. Because guess what? When it's time for that next contract to come, you're not going to be able to afford it. And if you do, you're not going to be able to build around him. So I agree with Mark. Blow it up right now. That's the best bet.
And to Chris's question, I think that's a great question. And I think that's why the Hawks are in a position to trade Trae Young, because you do have a two-way point guard already on your team. So it's not like you had to trade Trae Young for someone that could be better than Trae Young or someone that could play defense better than him. No, you trade him for someone that could potentially fit next to DJ.
Mm-hmm. Right. Go get your key wing player or your big man.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we have to consider this more so than anything, because we all value Jalen Johnson. We all see his potential. Mm-hmm. Now, is there not a world where we move Trae Young and that can help propel Jalen Johnson? Like, are we going to sit here and it's not like Jalen Johnson is John Collins, where he's dependent off of Trae Young. Jalen Johnson can create himself. So I just don't want to overlook that, because we saw it when Trae Young was hurt.
Yeah.
Guys stepped up. Guys played better without him.
Yeah.
Now, Clint Capella, Clint Capella may need a Trae Young.
He does.
Or a playmaker. But I'm just saying, when you look at our roster, a lot of guys really don't need Trae Young, but Trae Young needs them, so that's kind of what I'm looking at, man.
Trae, as an offensive player, Trae doesn't need any of them. Trae can generate his own offense.
He doesn't.
And it's probably only 20% in the league max that can legit stay in front of Trae one-on-one.
Well, I'm talking about winning games. I'm not talking about getting stats.
Guys, I agree with you both.
Even with winning games.
I agree with you both. But here's where, and I'm trying to be fair. Mark, to Chris's point, playoff Trae is phenomenal. Or was phenomenal. Trae was phenomenal. But it seems like here lately, because the thing about playoff Trae ignited others. So when Trae started to play that way, they did, meaning his counterparts, his teammates, they raised their play. But here lately, it's like I'm not seeing that as a unit on the Hawks. Trae will come out and go off, but the team does not raise their energy, right? I think we can agree on that. Also, to me, it seems like Trae's three-point shooting has declined in recent years, if we're being fair about it. If we're also being fair, Chris, you and I talked about this, and Mark, you and I talked about this. I think the Hawks were right at 500 without Trae last year, right? We
did not have a winning record without him, regardless.
No. We were 12-11 without him.
Yeah.
We were 12-11 without him. We had a losing record, and I'm not laying it at his. I'm not laying it at his feet. I love Trae, but I'm being honest. Something is off with the chemistry.
And let's not forget, Jalen Johnson missed 20 games? Was it 22 games somewhere in that area?
He did.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we have to also factor that in, the fact that we're not having our guys all the time.
I know what that off is, what Terry's talking about. That off is exactly what I said earlier. Not another superstar player. Sometimes when you have a superstar player, you need that superstar talent around you. Look at Penny Hardaway and Shaq. Well, let's put it like this. Look at Shaq in both of the situations that he was in. Mm-hmm. In Orlando, right. He had Penny Hardaway. He had to have another superstar, but they put a solid role players like Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott, hell, even Horace Grant when he got there. Mm-hmm. You look at the Lakers. Kobe and Shaq was one of the best duos of all time. Mm-hmm. And that 2001 team had great players on it, but a lot of them were way past their prime. So what you will have to do is go out for Trae, go get another superstar player, like I've been saying, and you have to go out and get solid veteran role players. Because one thing about it, we've seen it, and you said it was a perfect example last year. They played better without Trae Young. So what did that tell you?
I don't know.
He's not a Quinn Snyder guy. He's not a Quinn Snyder guy.
Okay.
I mean, but this is his third head coach now.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, come on now.
Right. Like, what's the common denominator? What's the common denominator here?
Trae Young is the
And look, I love Trae. Let me tell you something. Trae is electric, and Trae wants to win. But guys, and I'm gonna be real with you. I'm about to pull up my old man. You know what I mean? And put on my suspenders. You know, my daddy would turn over in his grave. You know, if you said, well, let's go to the player and there's nothing wrong with getting input. But when you make a decision based on a player as opposed to the coach, I don't know that, and I know it happens, but I just don't know that that's a recipe. It does, right? With the LeBrons. But LeBron has earned that.
Thank you. I was about to say, because that's where it started, right there.
Right. But LeBron has earned that. Has Trae Young earned that?
To be honest with you, to start it all, when it all started, I wouldn't say Bron earned that. I just feel like he just kind of just invoked his will. He was out of the contract. He went where he wanted to go, and he started that from there. His situation was different from Trae Young.
Right, but it's different when you kind of cajole and manipulate a team than when a coach comes to you and says, we're going to make this decision based over you bump the coach. That's a little different, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
and in order to do that, in my humble opinion, you need to have at least a couple of rings. You need to be well on your way to the Hall of Fame. You need to be shifting the American culture if you're going to make a decision like that, right? Let's go to the 91 Bulls. Are you going to go ask Horace Grant that question? Hell no. You might ask Michael Jordan. You're not going to ask Horace. And Horace Grant's a great player, but he does not have.
Terry, in their situation, they had a great GM that didn't give a damn what nobody said.
Agreed.
I don't think Jordan had input.
Agreed. Jordan had input.
Right.
But that second time around, when they went and got Dennis Rodman, Jordan did not have really any input. Jerry Krause know that team needed a guy, a spark plug type of guy, like Dennis Rodman, that could also get into the mind of the other team, and just be a game changer. And I saw an interview not too long ago when someone said it wasn't Jordan that took us out, it was Rodman that took us out. I think it was Sean Kemp. Said Rodman was the key drive behind that 72-10 team. So sometimes you just need guys with a little screws loose, and that's for football too.
Yeah,
so think about that.
Everybody
think about that run.
Boy.
I'm just saying, you think about that run for 2021. Think of some of the guys that we did have, like the Gallows and the Solomon Hills. Guys who would fight for you and getting rough up for you and all that stuff. Like, we don't have guys like that either no more. Some of those guys who will get in there and get in the face of others, and so they just do dirty work. We don't have dirty work.
We had guys like that on that 98 team. We had guys like Allen Henderson. We had guys like Tyrone Corbin.
Tyrone Corbin.
Yeah, when you get guys like that, man, that's what boosts the team's ego. That helps, drive a team. Get some guys who has that wacko mental, and it'll push the team. But we don't have nobody on this team like that. And to be honest, those guys really don't exist no more, except for Patrick Beverly. That's it.
And after throwing the ball at that fan, he might be on his way out. You guys see what the Dixon Way said. The common denominator is this horrible ownership. I'm going to leave that right there. I didn't say it. I'll leave it right there.
Horrible, man.
Yeah, we all know that though. That's a given.
What'd you say, Mark?
I don't know if it's horrible, man. Like I said, I feel like we've had some bad timing. Granted, are they operating, how a basketball team should be operated? Maybe not. I don't think we have horrible ownership. I mean, Chris talked about the Atlanta Hawks games being a club atmosphere. Well, that was something I appreciated. Like, I remember when I was living in Atlanta, I used to tell people all the time, the best ticket in Atlanta is a Hawks game. One, they're cheaper, but it's a great experience. I used to beat that horse so much. And that same season, the Hawks came out, the NBA came out, and they ranked the Hawks the #1 team with fan experience. So again, like, they're doing some positive things. We talk about them not spending the money. Well, they gave Kevin the bag. They gave JC the bag. We can't forget. We continue to praise Trae Young for the 2021 run, but then we don't give any praise to ownership for the 2021 run. That doesn't make any sense.
That's a good point.
So it doesn't make any sense.
That's a good
point. I'm not taking away from what happened in 2020. I'm saying after the playoff run. If you notice, that's where I started. I started after we were eliminated. And it just went down here from there for me. And for me, brother, I'm not trying to be like that because I love the environment of State Farm Arena as well. But I can give two red cents about having the #1 player fan experience and all that stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, I still don't have no trophy, no hardware or nothing of that. Where does that get us by having the #1 fan experience? Where does that get us? Please tell me that.
I mean, it's just to touch on Larry's topic, as far as it being horrible ownership being a common denominator. I just feel like it's a little bad luck here and there. At the end of the day, only one team wins a championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, again, this is the year. I think you said this, Terry. This is the year where all eyes are on us, and we have the opportunity to kill every narrative. And I think that's probably the solution is that we got to just hit a home run with this number one pick. Whether we trade it, we pick a player. If we do that, that should help us move in the right direction. But
agreed.
I mean, again, there's so many moving parts when we look at this ownership, and to hire a Travis Slank, to hire a Quinn Snyder, you have Trae Young on your roster, you got DJ on your roster. There's pieces here. And when you look at Detroit, I mean, you got to think about Detroit. Detroit set the record. Well, no, they tied the record for most consecutive losses in a season. And they still didn't end up with the first pick. They lost, like 30 games in a row, 21, some crazy number in a row. And they still didn't end up with the number one pick. So imagine how they fans feel. Like it could be worse is all I'm saying. It could be worse.
You got a point. You got a point. I guess, look, I'm not gonna, first off, my basketball acumen is not what any of you illustrious guests are on this panel. I watch it, I enjoy it, but I couldn't tell you a horrible ownership group from a not so. So I don't know that I have the Creole to say they're horrible. What I will say is maybe they made some youthful mistakes being too enthusiastic and trying to make something happen, right? I've owned businesses before. I own a business. When I was younger, I made some mistakes that I wouldn't make now because I've matured and there's no substitute for experience. So maybe in some of their youthful exuberance, and when I say youth, I mean youth as an ownership group of the Hawks. Maybe they owned other businesses, but this ownership group is what, 5-10 years, no more than 10 years, right?
I think they're coming up about, it's a great question. I'm gonna look it up.
What it was like 2017, was it? Was it 17, 18?
Yeah. I don't even know that they're 10 years old, but they're relatively young.
Yeah, because I believe it switched when we was Phillips Arena, and I believe when we switched everything to State Farm, I believe it was all in that.
Yeah. So and again, guys, you don't know what you don't know. Let's be real. There's no substitute for experience, and maybe some of these mistakes were just. I really want to get this done because I feel like this group wants to win. To be respectful and compare. I grew up in the Rankin Smith time with the Falcons. Rankin didn't want to win. He just wanted to put butts in seats. And I think anybody that was alive during that time can say that. I think this group wants to win. I think they're just going through growing pains. Now, will they ultimately get there? Don't know, right? But I do think they want to win. And I think a part of being a good ownership team is you got to want to win. Now, you need to listen. You need, if you're going to hire somebody to do a job, you need to listen to them and trust them to do it and get out of the way. But as an owner, you have to mature to that point, because a part of what makes them, a part of the reason they got to be owners anyway, guess what, guys? They got their hands in the mud, right? So now you collect all these billions of dollars or however you did it. You purchased this franchise, and now you're telling me hands off? You get what I'm saying? And I'm not excusing it. Right? It is what it is. I'm not excusing it. I'm simply saying that, as an ownership group, people need time to mature. Now, guys, with that being said, I'm with Smitty. I'm with Chris. I don't want to wait 5 years. I don't. And maybe I'm spoiled.
I don't, bro.
Maybe I'm spoiled.
I don't want to keep doing that, bro. Like,
I don't want to wait.
Hey, man, you hired a guy to help with the salary cap. He better salary cap. That's all I'm saying, bro. You just hired a guy from Golden State. He better be able to salary cap then, because I'm not trying to start over. And at the end of the day, I still have just a little bit of ounce of hope that we somehow, some way can stick to this and come out on the other side like Boston just did.
So
Tatum and Brown have been in the league longer than Trae Young, and they're just now realizing this.
How do we do it?
Shoot, man, we gotta start making better moves. I'm telling you, man. After 2021 playoffs, it started there, and some people can say it started at the Trae Young, Luka Doncic trade. If that's where you want to start from, okay, fine. But for me, it started after that 2021 playoffs. Started to pay people, you started to move people, you started to instead of building the team, kind of try to see what all the players wanted to do and making people happy. At the end of the day, whatever it is, I still have to bring it back around to the front office, because even if you are listening to the players, that's still a decision you decided to make. Because at the end of the day, I mean, what the player going to do? Say, no, I don't want that. I don't want my input. So the player's not going to say that.
Right.
So for the ownership, you still got to bring everything right back to the ownership, right back to the front office. These are decisions that y'all are making. If you would have came out and said, hey, y'all, we trading Trae Young because he is not aligning with what we want to do and make this a winning franchise, I have nothing to say, because at the end of the day, it's about the logo. But you're not coming out and saying stuff like that.
We can look at our Atlanta Falcons and take a book from their page from when they had that $80 million in cap space.
Right.
Sometimes you just got to take it on the chin and try to get up off the canvas.
That's
and what
true.
I mean by that,
that's true.
You trade Trae Young, you get at least one solid player back and a number 1 pick. Hell, that could be putting you in the right direction. And you use 2 picks from this draft to build around Jalen Johnson and DeJounte Murray, because you're going to still have those 2 key pieces to build around. So, and DeJounte is actually cheaper than Trae. It's going to always be cheaper than Trae. So, sometimes you got to cut your losses,
not
man.
the sexy name. DeJounte is not.
And I think what we can do, ownership included, is I think we need to forget about 2020. We need to forget about the second half of the 2021 season. The faster we do that, the faster we can learn and we can grow. We got to remember, the first half of that season, we were playing like shit. We fired Larry Drew. I mean, not Larry Drew. Lloyd Pierce.
Yes.
And we fired. I don't know why I mixed them up, because Larry Drew was not it. But we fired Lloyd Pierce, and then that somehow ignited the team. We trade Rondo, we get Lou Will, and we had an amazing second half of the season. Bogey was shooting lights out. Trae was playing good. We get matched up with the Knicks. There was a fluke. We get matched up with the 76ers. Ben Simmons forgot how to play basketball. And then we get matched up with the Bucks. And they just they kept, staying in that drop coverage. And that's how Trae got down there 50 game 1. If we can forget about that little 3-month period, I think we can build this team correctly. But our fans, ownership, they keep going back to that 2021 run, and it's stopping.
We seen it though, Mark. We seen it though. It'd be different if we didn't see it. We seen
Chris,
it.
I was there. I was there
a couple games too.
I was there. Matter of fact, I bought season tickets for that season before the run, so I was optimistic about the team. So I get it, but what I'm not going to do is continue to hang on to that one run and say, Trae Young is good in the playoffs, because of that one run, when we've seen evidence since that teams are going to attack him. Teams are going to run every action towards him. They're going to probably full court press. And again,
so where's the rest of the team? But
it's not. But we got to understand, it's conflicting, because Trae Young is only effective with the ball in his hands. So throughout the whole season, it's the Trae Young show. So when it's the playoffs and it's time to defer and let other guys get in their bag, well, they don't know what to do, because the whole season they watch Trae Young do the pick and roll. The whole season they watch Trae Young shoot 30, 35-foot threes. So again, that's why it's conflicting, and I think, as a Trae Young fan, it's probably in his best interest to get a fresh start. Matter of fact, send him to San Antonio, send him to a coach that he will respect and that he will have to play a system. Because, again, when we think about Michael Jordan, they won a championship not because of Michael Jordan's greatness. It was because of the triangle. It was because of the system.
Look at these names. Look at these names right here that he just saying. We don't have anything like that. You can even forget about the Skylar Mays and the Cam. Let's just start with the Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn, I already know. Is he fine? No, but he will rough you up. He's always into a fight. He's always into something, so with somebody. Then you also had Tony Snell. You also had Solo. You had guys who would do dirty work, man. We don't have none of those now.
Tony Snell.
I'm talking about guys that's doing dirty work.
But let's remember Tony Snell. People forget he was shooting 55% from three.
He was.
He didn't have to play much. He really didn't have to play much.
He got hurt, right?
He had some significant minutes. That would not have been like that.
Well, no, he got hurt. Because I remember a couple of games he won, and his playing time was starting to increase, and then he went out for the season, right?
Remember, he hit a game winner.
He did. From way down.
What happened to Snell?
I've always wanted to say that. From way down. But yeah, he did. He hit a game winner.
Yeah, Snell after that, it was over with. Then remember, we had Rondo to start the season too, before we made the trade to get Lou Williams. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was moves that we made. You feel me? Yeah, the moves that we made that helped us and catapulted us to that run. We haven't done anything like that lately. We're not continually making moves. The moves that we're making are not good moves. Like, outside of, okay, can we agree to this? Outside of Trae Young, who earned their contract?
I think JJ probably earned his. Well, I projected.
No, I'm talking. No. 2021. At the end of that, 2021. Outside of Trae Young, who earned their contract? Like, really, truly earned it.
Well,
total body of work.
Well, we got to remember Trae Young. I mean, going into the playoffs, he had already earned his contract. I mean, we weren't going to let him walk. But no, I mean, JC definitely earned his. And then Kevin.
I mean, maybe what? Because being the longest tender, maybe at the time, Hawk. Maybe JC for that. And let's just be real. In the beginning, JC did average 20 and 10, but when Trae got there, we already know that changed. But at the end of the day, man, who earned it? Who earned it?
I mean, nobody. I mean, I'm not going to even say Trae Young earned his. I mean, he was the number one pick. He was traded for Luka. So off top, he already had equity in the team. He was always going to get his next contract. I mean, not always, but I'm just saying.
I'm about to say, no, you can't say that. Because now, Mark, you just said that he earned his contract. $50 million. I was saying that he didn't.
No. I'm talking about the number they got. I'm not talking about did they earn the next contract. I'm talking about, you think Trae Young worth $50 million?
Do I think he's worth? Oh, he's talking about his next contract that's coming up. Is he worth that?
No, I'm talking about now. This season, that? He makes what, 45 this season? Or
I think he's gonna make like 42.
But that's what I'm saying. Is Trae Young worth that much money?
Who just got a contract? Somebody got a contract the other day, 4 years. It was Siakam. And I think Siakam
they're trying to give him
$47 million, because we talked about that last night. I think it's $47 million a year, right? So in terms of Siakam making 47, Trae at 50, what do we think? Smitty, what do you think? They comparable? You think Trae's worth 50 million?
Oh, hell
43.
And my mistake about that too. Yeah, John's numbers definitely changed when Capella got here, for sure. John was just the number one guy before Trae got here.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the crazy part. If you got a guy that you think can take over at the 5 and John Collins, why go out and get a Clint Capella who cannot shoot mid-range shots? He can only put back tip backs and rebound and dunk. That's about all. He's a transition player. If he's not in transition, he's a lost cause. So you wasting $22 million this year. So that's another person you could trade this year to get those second round picks back. So Trae Young at 50 million, I say no, hell no, times 10. I'm gonna agree with Mark, and I'm gonna keep agreeing with Mark. You got to get rid of him right now because in the long run, it's going to help your bottom line. And we know how cheap this only is. I wouldn't trust him to buy me a Laffy Taffy stick at the candy lady. He just that cheap.
Hey man.
My man said the candy lady.
If you blow it up, all I'm saying is you better have a plan in place. Because if you don't, get ready for the next.
But they don't have to completely blow up everything. Just get rid of that Trae Young contract. Keep
DeJounte.
Keep DeJounte, keep Jalen, build around those two guys. And then you get out DeAndre Hunter's contract, try to do that as well.
So I'd love to do that.
So let me ask y'all this. What would you rather trade? The number 1 pick or Trae Young? On Wednesday. On Wednesday. So we ain't made no other moves. What would you, if someone called, what would you rather do?
It depends on what we get back for Trae. It depends on what we get back for Trae. If they don't give us a trade package that's going to move this team in another direction, and I don't think no player in this draft can do that. You got to keep Trae, but at the same time, if you can whip some up where you get multiple picks and a solid player return, I would definitely think about trading Trae.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you might lose him anyway.
I think about it too, though. These contracts are only going to keep getting bigger and bigger too, though.
Yeah.
So as much as more and more TV deals and everything, we're talking about Trae making 42 this year. Just imagine what it's going to look like in 5 years. You're going to be wishing you were paying a player $42 million. You know what I'm saying? You got guys that's about to be averaging $55 million, it's $60 million, $70 million. So eventually you're going to have a guy that's going to be making straight up $100 million that's not named LeBron, KD, or et cetera, just because of how the contracts are going and how the deals are getting done now.
But so, I guess to me, it's less about the number. It's more about the percentage. So Trae Young is making next season, he'll make 29% of our available cap space.
Yeah.
Because like you said, the numbers are going to go up. So do you think Trae Young is worth a third of our salary cap?
No, I don't. Because with the team that we have in place now, we're not going to do it anyway. You know what I mean?
I'm not looking at the money. I'm looking at the structure of the team.
Right. Exactly.
I don't care nothing about the money.
Exactly.
Because like y'all said, you're going to get paid anyway. And like Uncle Steve said, you're going to get paid anyway. It's about the structure of this team. Is there anybody outside of Trae Young on this team that can help carry this team to a deep playoff run? I say no.
No.
And the only way you can fix that is probably send off your top player. And I hate to say that because I remember
because it sounds retarded. 30 years ago.
So
but it's not our fault. It's not our fault.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Man, that salary cap better start salary capping, bro. That's all I mean. You brought that man in. You better work the damn member crew. That's all I got to say.
I think right, and I think Mark is on to something, right, guys? And I'm gonna put on my nerd hat here for a second. Excuse me, but I think what he's saying is, if you're gonna take up 29% of the salary cap, you better damn well be impactful. We better lose like hell without you. We need more of, and I'm not putting it on him per se, but I'm saying if we're going to pay you at that rate and you're taking up 29% of our salary cap, we need more. We need more. We need more threes. We need more. And we're not getting that because, in my humble opinion, I think Trae's on the decline. If you look at his 3-point shooting specifically, it's about at a 10% clip lower than it was 3-4 years ago.
Terry, 10%.
I'm just being honest, man.
10? That's high. Like you mean a tenth?
Look at his 3-point percentage from 18 to 21, and then look at his 3-point percentage from 22 to 24. I'm gonna at least say it's 5 to 7%. It might not be 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
actually
okay.
has gotten
No,
worse.
I got it for
I
you
think,
right here.
I think
I
he
got
was
it
like
for you right
32%.
here.
I think he was like
I got it for
32%.
you right here. In 2019, he was at 32%. 2020, 36. 21, he was at 34. 2021, then the 2021-22 season, he was at 38%. The following year, he was at 33. Last year, he went back up to 37.
Damn.
So
Well,
I mean, now I know now the beginning of that year he was pretty bad, but by the end of the year he ended with 37.3% from the three.
That's not bad, but he's streak. You know what? Then I'm wrong, but to me, it's like he's very streaky. Number one, he can go on high streaks, he can go on cold streaks, but number two, it's like the team just stopped responding to him. He does not elevate the play of his teammates. And again, if I'm paying you 29%, it's not enough for you to just go out there and shoot. It's not enough for you to just go out and score. You need to elevate the play of those around you if I'm going to pay you at that rate. And that's just me. Right? That's just me. Because I'm telling you, it doesn't look like it's getting any better. You said what?
No, just say, and I just want to put out there, in all fairness, Trey only played 54 games last year, but he still averaged 37.3 from the three. Just wanted to be fair about that as well.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, because I feel like he had a career year for the most part, like numbers wise.
He did. Steals 1.3, assists 10.8. Let me see. No, not in rebounds. Field goal percentage 43%, which is the highest since that playoff run that we're hanging on to, when he had 46% for that year. Because what it is, his point total did go down 25.7 compared to 26.2 the previous year. And of course, that playoff run he was averaging 28.4. Still about right the same amount of minutes. Honestly, he's played more minutes than he's ever has in his career last year.
Dang.
Uncle Steve made my point for me, though. Just like I said earlier, he's got to have a star player beside him, because who else is out there scoring, jacking up buckets outside of Trey? That's why he needs a superstar big man, not just a superstar guy, a superstar big man to man the middle and protect the rim. If he don't get that, what good is he? He can't do it by himself.
So is there a world where y'all think we could draft Sarr or draft whoever, package that up with the?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Or draft whoever, but I guess I was saying Sarr, man, because you pick them to trade them. Maybe you pack it. Well, I guess we can't trade Sarr and Clint in the same package. But I guess I'm trying to figure out a world where we could get back that center that we all agree he needs. Is there a center available? Is there a star available? And I just don't see one available. I know Paul George is a free agent, but he ain't coming to no damn Atlanta. We all know that.
Does he stay healthy? Does he stay healthy enough to sign? At this point?
That's the other problem, though, guys. The available free agents and the availability of those free agents. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Who's available? Do you look at the free agent list that Smitty had brought up yesterday? We look at the free agent list. It's not a sexy list, and some of those guys are probably going to go back or go to other teams. I mean, you got OG Anunoby. A couple of them
have already.
Right. You got OG Anunoby. The starting bid for him is rumored to be $35 million. That's a two-way player, but you're going to have to pay him.
Brandon Ingram, $52 million.
That's what I'm saying. I pay OG before I pay Brandon. My personal opinion. Nobody should.
Okay. So if we were to go out and get OG, what's it going to take, and who do we have to get rid of? Because obviously we're going to have to move some contracts. Who would we have to get rid of? And then could we get rid of?
I'm trying to figure out if you do that. I'm trying to figure out who can I bribe to take some of these contracts. Because good God.
Right.
Like, you got to find a dance partner. I think somebody will take Clint.
But that's the thing with Clint. We probably got a damn near trade a pick with Clint.
We ain't got it. We ain't got it, Mark. I'm glad you said that because I was about to go to that point next. You can trade Clint, but they gonna at least the team gonna want a pick or something back for it. We ain't got now.
Man, we all know, Atlanta's a city of finesse. But one thing's for sure is for us to get better, Landry is gonna have to get finessed. Like he's a young GM. He's gonna have to get same thing with John Collins trade. I think this is the only way we'll move forward. And I don't know if Landry or ownership or this fan base is ready to accept that. We're gonna have to dump salaries. We're gonna have to do stuff we don't like to get better. That's just the reality.
And crazy side note, they tried to trade John Collins for Lauren Marketing 2 years ago. It fell through at the end. So that would have been the nice move because I love the way Gallinari fit in his offense when he was here. 6'10" guy that can shoot from the wing and open up the middle of the floor for Capella. Yeah, Marketing would have done the same thing. So they tried to make that trade 2 years ago, but it fell through.
Yeah. All right, guys. So do we trade? So I guess the general consensus is we don't trade Trey, or we have no choice. Like, where are we?
I don't think you trade him, but if you do, I understand why you do. I guess because you're working toward trying to not necessarily blow it up, but move into a different direction. I still think Trey, even if he's not your best player, I still think his capabilities and abilities will help you win a championship as long as you build things correctly. Things just haven't been built correctly. Okay. To be honest with you, I don't think we should blow it up. A lot of people on this team, I believe, are still going to be on this team for chemistry purposes. And because, when you start moving people around, you do have to worry about the chemistry, something that's very underrated in sports. So you start moving all these pieces around, moving guys around, getting rid of guys for whatever reason, you still may be hurt on the back end anyway. Jalen Johnson, Trae Young, I definitely believe you can build around those two pieces. If DJ can come along and help out along with that, then so be it. But I just cannot go through another starting over process because, guys, I'm telling you, I feel like if we mess around and blow this up to start over, I feel like we're going to go through the same years that we were going through trying to figure it out after Lenny Wilkins left. That's just how I feel, bro. That's how I feel.
A long time ago.
I don't have any saying, bro.
But what do history like to do, though, family?
I agree.
And the thing about it is, if you got jack legs not doing the right things, what's history gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna trip and fall and repeat myself. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. And to Dixon Wade, guys, first thing I said, my basketball acumen is not great, so I apologize for the error. He still seems like he's declining, but apparently I need to check the stats before I do that. So I apologize.
We got your back, Ted. We got your back.
I apologize, right? And look, I wanted to have the conversation. I'm a fan. I don't have the basketball know-how that all of you guys do, apparently. So
hey, I don't either. I ain't even
forgive me.
Football all the way.
And look,
trust me.
That's why I have this panel of stars. So go ahead.
But Terry, to your point, okay, statistically, okay, Trae Young had a career year. He's out there in the passing lane. He's getting steals. Statistically, he had a better year, but we still aren't winning. So right. I can see from Atlanta sports fans' perspective when you're just observing from afar how you can say, "Oh, Trae Young's not having a good season," because we're literally losing more games every season, whether it's his fault or not. So to your point, I mean, he's not his statistics haven't declined, but I will go on a limb. I'll go against Larry. I'll go against anybody that his play style is declining. Because in 2021, when he was most effective, he was most effective and he was so deadly in the playoffs because he kept getting the foot in the paint. That floater was deadly. And then it was so deadly that you didn't know if he was doing a floater or a alley-oop. And he still has it in his bag, but I'm just saying, I mean, you put the statistics. his field goal percentage is at 43%. And to me, it should not be that low when you were at 46% 3 years ago. If anything, you should be hovering right at 46, getting closer to 50.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna forget that DJ came to the team too.
No, I don't.
That's what I'm saying, Chris. The team's getting better.
Right, so, I'm gonna go through the attempts for you. Then I'm gonna go through the attempts. Hold on, I got you.
But if Sarr is not your guy anymore, and like I said, I'm not a clinging fan, and I understand if they took him. But then my thought shift to Ricochet, and that's because you talk about a guy that's a talent who can he's a 3-level guy. He can play decent defense. He can bring the ball up the court, and he can rebound pretty good. So that should be your focus. And then after that, you go out and get a veteran big man until you go out and find a younger big guy. You probably can get a James Wiseman down the road. You probably could go out and get a Vucevic or Valanciunas, a veteran big man. Yeah, to cover that until you get somebody younger. But there is always a way. And I think, like I said, with these 3 key guys, add another piece to those 3 guys, and whatever you're gonna do with Hunter, you're gonna do with it. But just make sure you don't trade JJ. Make sure you don't fumble Young, because that's exactly what's gonna happen down the road.
Boy, I think, yeah.
I don't.
Did you put the attempts?
You said what?
Yeah, I'm doing all that right now.
Okay.
Doing all that right now.
Like,
they got it going by season by season.
It just seems like they stopped responding, right? It's hey, again, and I don't know what it is, but there's something missing. There's a big difference between 2024 and the 2021 Hawks, and I don't know what that is.
Okay.
But even the way that they play, it's not as passionate. They just don't respond. Go ahead, Chris. What you got? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was waiting for you to finish, and then I was just going to say about the attempts. All right. So the playoff run from 2021, Trae Young had over 1,500, and to be exact, he had 1,544 attempts from the field that entire year at 46%. Right. All right. Let's go to the year. Let's go to last year. Last year he had 1,008 attempts. 1,008 attempts. Now, mind you, he only played 54 games. I know he played more games in that, like about 73 or something like that in that 2021 season. But that's significant, bro. That's a lot of attempts that you're not getting anymore. 1,544 to cut and getting it cut down to just 1,008.
But that was in 20 less games. That was in 20 less games, right? That was in 20 less games. So he played 73. He played 73, right?
Because 21, that was a shortened season, wasn't it?
No. Not that playoff run. We were back.
How many?
Remember, we had fans. Remember, he getting spit on and everything. We had fans again.
Well, yeah, we had fans like the second half of the season, but I'm just saying that 2021 season, that wasn't a 72-game season.
About to get to you right now. Dang it! Hold on. Let me make sure I get.
But either way, I mean, he played less games.
Excuse me. It was he played 76 total games that year. He played 54 last year, and he played 54 this previous year, and the year when we first got DJ, it was 73. And even I'll go back to the attempts for that one, for that year. Let's see.
Yeah, it just seems like I think his efficiency is something that hasn't improved over since.
He had less shots this year and was more efficient than he was when DJ first got here.
Well, it looks like I totally read that wrong. So I'm not going to make any more trade suggestions because it looked like Hey, looks like I totally got that wrong, but still, guys. So what's the disconnect? Like, what's the difference? 2021, we go to the playoffs, we go on this miraculous run. What's the difference between that team and the fact that we got to get in on the play-in? Like, what did the league adjust to us? Like, what happened? What are we missing?
Terry, this is what happened. As a Hawks fan, but an observer of the NBA, team slept on us, man. Team slept on us. Like, that was it. And then we saw it the next season when we faced against Miami. They were like, we are not going to play with y'all. We couldn't do nothing. Trae Young couldn't get the ball across half court. So I think that's what it was, man. We were a young, hungry team. Like Chris was saying, we were starting to let fans back into the building. So there was a lot of excitement. Closer we got to April, closer we got to the playoffs. And then you got to think it was COVID. That was just like a very unique sports year for a lot of teams. A couple months before, the Lakers won the championship in the bubble. And then we didn't see the same Lakers team. The Hawks make a run in the Eastern Conference Finals. We haven't seen nothing since. So I think that's what it was, man. We caught a lot of teams took us for granted. A lot of teams underestimated Trae Young. We got to remember the New York Knicks fan base. They underestimated Trae Young. And, man, we just caught teams sleeping, man. And Kevin Huerter came out of nowhere. John Collins and it was just a magical year, man.
Yeah, it was a very nice year. Yeah, man. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, fellas. This has been great right here, but I have to depart. Man. Got some other things gotta get ready for, and also we also have a show tonight, man. Me, Smitty, and gonna be sitting down with Mr. Glenn Willis of Peachtree Hoops and ATL in 29. Going to have some interesting Hawks conversation with him, man. We're going to bring up some of these topics and pick his brain. And if you follow Glenn on Twitter, you know that Glenn normally likes to keep it real about the Atlanta Hawks. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. Make sure to join us around 8 o'clock p.m. for that conversation this evening.
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen,
before I get out of here, man, I gotta say thank you, Terry, for having me on, man.
I
really appreciate it, man. And Mark be having you thinking, boy, because my brain over here straining. But the best way to turn this around, man, is to make Wednesday's draft, make it your turnaround point.
I hope so.
I mean by that,
I hope so.
If you can't go get the guy that you want, go get a guy that's going to make a difference. Because if you don't get a guy that makes a difference, you just wasting your time. Just that simple.
That's it.
All right. Well, guys.
Hey, man. Hey, this was a healthy conversation, though, man. I enjoyed this thing talking with y'all.
I hope so. And look, guys, maybe we can do it again on another topic. I felt like when I saw that comment about Sarr not wanting to come into the Hawks, I love my Hawks, and it offended the hell out of me. And I'm like, we got to talk about this.
Oh yeah,
we got to. This is ATL. This is Atlanta. This is my home. What the hell do you mean you don't want to? I felt some kind of way about it. So I want to talk about.
Well, you know how young people live, man. They got to go with the flow. That's all.
I get it. I get it. I wanted my friends, my colleagues, my respected colleagues to come on here and just talk about it, man. And I think we did that. I think it was a productive conversation. So, guys, we're the shout outs part of it. If you guys can just say where you are, where folks can find you, that'd be great. Chris, my brother, we'll start with you. Go right ahead. Shout out.
Oh man, well, you can come on to YouTube and find me at A1 Forever Sports. We are trying to cross the 850 subscribers mark. On the road to 1K and beyond. So come on over, man. We believed in being generational because it's always time to be, and there's no point in selling for less when you can always have more with the vision. And I encourage you, if you haven't already done it, make sure you find your peace today, because positive energy always creates elevation. And that's how you find your peace today. You dig? So anytime that you guys can, man, come on over to A1 Forever Sports. Love to chop it up with each and every one of you. It's all love for Hawks fans, Falcons fans, Braves fans, Dogs fans. Shoot, I'm originally from Georgia, so I'm everything Georgia, including even Georgia State and Georgia Southern. So, hey man, it's just I love my city. I love the A, and that's just what it is, and that's what it comes down to. And I'll talk about other subjects, but first and foremost is always going to be Atlanta.
All right.
Hey man, look, I can't follow behind what Pastor Chris said, but y'all know to find me, man. Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube, and Fatboy Slim _21 on Twitter, man. I love to blow Twitter up, and trust me, we have a blast on Twitter because we always up there cooking up something, and that's how we come up with a lot of our ideas. But tonight, like Chris said, catches at 8:00, man. We're gonna talk some more hot basketball, and trust me, Glenn not gonna hold back, and that's what you love about him.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna get his thoughts, man. We're gonna let him kind of, come in. We're gonna shoot some things at him and see what he thinks, and hopefully all you guys can join us. And you already know if we see some comments that are looking good, hey, we may even put it up there for Glenn to answer, or one of us may even answer it. So just make sure you just come on by, man, and fellowship with us. And hey, we'd love to have you.
All right. Mark, tell us where we can find you, man. And again, congratulations, 1,000 subs, man. You are doing it big, sir. You are doing it very big. Yes, sir. And I just got to give you, first off, y'all,
me and Mark had a conversation about a month ago. I see he took it to heart.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a fancy. He growing. I got to watch out for him. He might catch me.
Hey, better watch it. Watch out, 10K.
Hey,
look, I just need y'all to not forget about your little older brother, down here struggling. So, whatever we can do, man. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate y'all, man. Obviously I couldn't have got there without you all. It helps when I could pop out, on Smitty 10K's channel here and there. So, you got to keep it real. So appreciate you all, man. Appreciate you, Terry. And I just want to throw this out there for Terry. I know the guys at the bottom got to go. I'm in no rush. I don't know if you have more questions you want to continue with.
Either way. That'll be great. That'll be great.
Yeah. I'll keep it streaming on my channel. I ain't tripping.
All right.
Yeah, it'll stay on my channel too, so you'll get my views still. You'll get my viewers still. Yeah.
Gentlemen, I thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for your time. And guys, we'll do this again, right? This won't be the last time.
Oh,
so, and maybe, matter of fact, look, next week we can talk about what they did. Maybe we can pick this up left off. Talk about how they drafted, whether we agree or disagree, and still where we going. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, hey, next? That's the 31st. Next Monday. We can make an appointment right now, man. Let's go ahead and do it. We'll talk about it. I'll leave that to you guys. But guys, thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no problem, man. Be with y'all in a minute.
Yes, sir.
All right, fellas.
Peace.
All right. So, Mark, we talked about a lot of topics and we covered a lot of topics. I got to be honest. I really don't want to blow this thing up. I don't want to trust the process. I don't want to sit there for like 6 or 7 years while we suck and, maybe next year. Man, I watched the Braves go through that, right? And I can admit I'm a little spoiled, right? The Braves were great from 91 to 2014. Then they sucked for 4 years and then they were great again, right? So I'm very spoiled. I just don't want to sit through a 6-year rebuilding process. What are we doing? Where are we going? What are your thoughts? Do you think we should blow it up completely? Or do you think maybe we trade a couple of players and retool instead of rebuild? And if that's the case, who do you trade? Who do you keep? Who do you pay? Who do you let go? Your thoughts.
Hey, I'm with you, man. I don't want to rebuild either, man. Especially, man, like I've invested into the team, man. So obviously it's only so much, but I really do like watching good Hawks basketball. So, I don't want to watch, them just go out there every night and basically try to lose. I ever don't want to watch some tank. So I think, man, you got a couple options, right?
Okay.
And it's going to be, you're going to look at that number 1 pick. You're obviously going to draft the guy. You're going to trade the pick, or you're going to trade a player. I would just, if I was Landry fails and ownership, I would entertain every option, man.
Okay.
And I will go from there. So it's easy for us to say, right, just sitting here, but I would be very active in the market. I would be talking around, trying to get an idea of like who's available. Okay, what would you give me for this pick? I'll be having a lot of conversations. I'll be building rapport with a lot of people, and I will go from there, man. Like I wish I had one way to do it. I know a lot of people may think I want to trade him. I don't want to trade him, but I just think that's he's the most valuable asset we have right now. So yeah, man. Like, I think the word you used was great. Was retool. If we can find a way to retool with either this rookie or by flipping a guy like Clint, I would entertain that more than trading Trae Young, man. Like that's not something I'm excited to do. That's not something I want to do.
Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we just had Ron to join our chat. Yeah, Ron, how you doing?
What's up?
All right, man. Good to hear from you. So, hey, I just threw the question out there. Ron, tell us your thoughts. Would you trade Trae? Do you want to just blow this thing up? Or, what are your thoughts? Would you rather blow it up, or would you rather maybe trade a few guys, retool this thing, have a go at it, pay some guys, let some guys go? What are your thoughts on that?
My first thing what can you get for Trae?
Right.
We got to think about that first. If I'm a GM, I call in everybody around the NBA right now and say, what will you give me for Trae or Murray?
Right.
And yes, we do need picks, but we need players too. So if you give me an all-star, or if you give me 2 picks and an all-star, we the talk.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. So when you say an all-star, give me are you talking about a guard? Are you talking about a big? And 2 picks are these? Well, we only have 2 rounds,
right?
So are these 2 first round picks?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So 2 first round picks and an all-star. Mark, how you feeling about that?
Oh yeah. Now all-star, we might have to pull the all-star list because who are you thinking, Ron?
Yeah,
we did get Paul George.
He's out there.
We either get B.I. Brandon Ingram.
I like Brandon Ingram. I like him. Paul George to me doesn't stay healthy enough. Like it's always something with him.
But hear me out.
Yeah.
They both cannot stay healthy.
Right.
Brandon Ingram been injured a few times.
At the rate that Paul's been injured though?
Huh?
Has Brandon Ingram missed entire seasons?
Not an entire season, maybe 20 games, 10 games.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We need size.
We do need size. We do need size.
And I said it started with the GM. It started with the ownership.
Okay.
That first of all.
Okay.
If you bring me in to be a GM, let me cook, baby.
Yeah.
Let me cook.
I agree.
Let me do my job.
I agree.
The same thing with Atlanta Falcons. We brought him, Terry Fontenot, to be the GM. So he been cooking ever since till he got the title again.
Yeah.
But he been cooking ever since. So if I'm the host, you brought me in to be the GM, let me do my job.
I agree. Look, I can't, and I think that's a large part of the issue with the Hawks is you got to trust the people you bring in. Right. I think we can all agree to that, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Now, will they do it? I don't know, but I think that you have a solid point, Ron, and that if we're going to get anywhere, first off, we got to have trust in the organization, right?
Right.
Let's say, Mark is the president and Ron, you're the salary cap guy, and no, Mark's the owner, you're the salary cap guy, and I'm the GM. And if Mark keeps undercutting me, going behind my back, that's going to piss me off. Right. And it's going to breed a certain amount of distrust. So I agree. We that's definitely the first step. Now, will they do that?
Huh?
Will they do that?
They need to.
Agreed.
They need to.
Agreed.
They need to. Because if you're the GM, I'm the owner, and I keep on going behind your back, why you gave me the GM spot?
Right.
Hold on, gentlemen. We got another guest joining us. Dixon Way.
What's up, Larry?
How we doing, brother?
What's up, fellas? Am I coming in?
I'm glad to have you on the show.
Am I coming in laggy, guys?
You were.
No.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Yeah,
I mean,
kind of laggy. Hold on.
It all starts with the front office.
Mark. Hey, Mark,
So,
check this out. Someone send me a link on a DM on Twitter so I can try on my laptop.
Okay,
On Twitter?
Because this seems kind of laggy right now.
Okay. All right.
And the Hawks don't go after the bad guy. They got right. They bring that pit bull mentality. We don't go after them in free agent. We go after the labs. You know what I'm saying? Nice guys. We don't go after the guy that if you put Trae Young on his butt, we gonna be in your face. We don't go after those guys.
at the top of the draft, do you like any of those guys? Do you think any of those guys got that energy?
I think Saul got that energy. I've been running Saul forever. I'm sorry. That kind of talent you can't find nowhere. That height, you can't find nowhere. And 50% of our game we lost last year, defense. We cannot stop nobody in the paint last year. If you look at all the big centers around the NBA, they way with us in the middle of the paint. Everybody needs help in the NBA. Somebody lacking on something. They're not perfect. But you as a GM, you get them the help that they need. Okay, Shaw might need help with this. Call Alonzo. Hey, Alonzo, we got the number 1 pick. I want you to trade that man. Help him. Call Shaq. Shaq, how much it would take for you to help? So knowledge is power.
Yeah, agreed. Agree 100%. But I hear you as far as the organizational structure and how we need to do processes, and I agree with that 100%. But at the end of the day, we still got some contracts we got to move. We got some guys we got to get up out of here. We got some guys that are killing us. Larry is back.
Here we go.
Dixon Way, you there?
Much better.
All right. Okay.
Y'all hear me all right? Yeah. Something going on with my phone.
We can hear you.
Real janky. All right, cool. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, man, what's going on? How you doing? First off, we're glad to have you. Welcome.
Thank you guys for having me on. Blowing up y'all chat and stuff like that. I can convey what I'm saying better if I'm speaking. You know what I'm saying? Instead of typing in 200 characters.
Right. And Larry, let me first say this, bro.
Yeah.
I don't take offense to any of this. Look, this is I put this together just because I heard that statement about my Hawks. Everybody knows I'm Falcons and Braves. I follow my Hawks, but my knowledge is not what you guys is. So I apologize for the error, but I don't take offense to that
at all. No.
I want y'all to keep me right. You get what I'm saying? So I don't have an issue with that at all. And I'm glad you're on the show. So go ahead, sir. What were you going to say?
What I will say is, if you want to say that Trae Young okayed, DJ coming here or okayed Quinn coming here, not saying that he chose the players or chose the coach, but no one's gonna sit here and be like, Trae was like this. I don't know what you're gonna do. No one's saying that. Okay, so I'm not saying that. Team growth. I just personally feel that our ownership had 2 chances since he's on the team to improve the team.
All right.
What's that? 2000? What was that? 15? We got swept by LeBron.
Yeah.
We had a chance to improve the team then, but we did not. Best coaching job ever in Hawks history. Coach Bud. Shout out Coach Bud. All we did was just re-sign everyone. Now, that's a cardinal sin when you're in the NBA. My example is the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics went to 4 out of 6 Eastern Conference championships in this run with Tatum and Brown. While they are the core, they're also always changing their lineup. You had Marcus Smart, who was the defensive player of the year, always a great defender. And they say, you know what? We got to upgrade for him offensively while still having a defensive presence. Once they got Derek White and they looked, it was like, well, Derek White can possibly be our, our diet Marcus Smart, but way better offensively. Let's go out and pair him with possibly the best teammate he could have got with Drew Holiday defensively. Now that pressure, because I don't think Tatum's really a good defender, but he's athletic. He moves his feet. He's not horrible at defense, but he's not Jaylen Brown at defense. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, when I look at the Hawks, I feel like 2021 was a wasted opportunity. Just like what Smitty said. We had an opportunity, no rumors, an opportunity to get Lauri Markkanen for Dre Hunter, probably JC, and a draft pick or 2. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the asking price is 4 picks, at least 4 first rounders, and a starter for Lauri Markkanen. So again, we didn't take advantage of what we had to improve. Just like somebody said, if we could put a person on our team. Donovan Mitchell was, unhappy where he was. He ended up going to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? They ended up getting Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen was on the Bulls. We had a chance to get him, but we didn't take the chance. See, all of these things, or the Atlanta Hawks make moves, in my opinion, they make moves to shed money. They don't make moves to get better.
Okay.
That's why I blame the ownership. If you look at John Collins, they traded him away because he was going to cost too much. Even though he has a favorable contract, with this roster, our owner is always saying, I'll pay the tax when it's feasible, when it looks like we're a championship team. Well, you're never going to pay the tax. That's just a cop-out. Right. That's literally saying, look, unless you're the Boston Celtics, I ain't never going into the tier 2 tax. You know what I'm saying? Or even getting close to it. Now, we are in tier 1 right now, regardless. If we don't make any moves, we're in tier 1, close to tier 2. So something has to happen. I personally like DeJounte. I feel like it's a coach's job to get those guys to be able to mesh. I don't think Coach Quinn, at least right now, don't know how to make that mesh together. Kind of like Jason Kidd. When you look at Luka and Kyrie, they're not supposed to work. But some way he figured out. Now, it's unfair because you can't just say, okay, you can't, those 2 Hall of Famers, and then you got Trae, who has that path, but still, and then DJ is a good player, but he's not on the level or of a Kyrie or a Luka, whichever one you want to say Trae is equal to. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
So I understand why Terry was upset about, hey man, rookie is shunning us. Like he don't even want to come to the Hawks. But when you think about it, he don't think that he can supplant JJ. JJ has already been said, like, hey, Trey and JJ the only ones that's safe on this team. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what you're going off of, and you don't want to play the 5, he wants to play the 4.
Right.
So you have JJ who's going to be the starter. All right. You have Mo G who has similar skills to you. Maybe not as talented, but in that same mold. You know what I'm saying? 6'11", long, can dribble, you know what I'm saying? Got a lot of little skill, can shoot the jumper and stuff like that. So if you're looking at it, man, I got a long way. And I was talking to Matt, Ron, I was talking to Matt. And he got mad at me because I was like, they replace Kobe Buffkin, right? If you draft Zachary Ricochet, you're replacing Kobe Buffkin. Like, where is he going to play? Is he going to play over Bogey? No. Is he going to play over D? You see what I mean?
Right.
Like, even if they move DJ, say they move DJ for BI, the rumors, you know what I'm saying? Rumors. Zach's probably going to play the 2. Where does Kobe Buffkin play? Mark, where does Kobe Buffkin play?
Hey, me and Terry were having this conversation before the stream.
He's a guard.
He's
a guard, right?
No, he's a backup point guard. Does he have an avenue to ever start here as long as they keep Trae Young? Does he have an avenue to start here ever?
No.
No.
So was that a wasted pick?
Yes.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Because you basically got 2 DeJounte Murrays.
Right.
Can he come off the bench? Can he come off the bench, Larry?
But
yes, he can. He can. He absolutely can. So did Sharif. So did what's the kid? Sharif Cooper. Same thing. He could come off the bench, but he was a first.
You want him playing off ball though? That's the thing with him.
Well, here's the thing. He's really a 2 guard, but they had him playing point guard. But he barely played this season, last season. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then they held him out of the play-in. So my thing is like, okay, we drafted Kobe Buffkin. We was really high on him. We spent a lot of development. I was told he was in the Skyhawks in College Park, but development, they didn't want to rush him here. Even though we had all those injuries. So my whole thing is we had all those injuries, even when Trey or DeJounte was down or Bogdan Bogdanovic, we were starting Wesley Matthews and Garrison Matthews.
Yeah,
and Bogey in the same lineup of Vic Krejci. Kobe couldn't get on the court. So my thing is this. And Matt got mad at me. He was like, why are you saying that? I was like, dude.
I remember that.
I was like, dude, if you draft, and I'm not saying that Ricochet is not better than Kobe. Even if he's a taller Kobe, that's an improvement. But we need it defensively. But you're effectively saying that you wasted a pick last year.
Right.
And regardless, if he's a good backup, he's out of here. He's a part of a trade piece to make us better in actuality, because he's never going to have a path to start here. Ricochet is the future shooting guard. I can see if they're drafting him to replace, like if we were keeping DJ and we were replacing DeAndre Hunter, I understand it. DeAndre Hunter with his injuries history, his up and down play, you know what I'm saying, his lack of rebounding, and just not being able to be on the court. I understand you trying to replace him. But if you're literally going to presumably trade DJ away to get a BI, you know what I'm saying, to possibly go and try, if you make a last second trade with Washington and get Kuzma to play the 3, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to, things like that, you know what I'm saying? Like if they want to move up just to make sure they get their guy, you know? So it's things like that that make you wonder, like, do we really have a plan to make our team better, or are we just trying to make them good enough to be entertaining, to get people in there, to go get a haircut at State Farm Arena, to drink at the Hawk Shaped Bar. You know what I'm saying? The swag surf with the owner. Like all that, yo, you don't know how triggered I was when you was talking about the entertainment part of the Hawks. I'm so
they do well.
You want to know why? Because that's amenities, bro. That's like, hey man, I put some speakers in my ride.
Mm-hmm.
I got 24-inch rims, but my engine is missing.
Right. Right.
I care about the engine, bro. I ride in the hoopty.
Exactly.
I care about the engine.
You want to get there.
Exactly. And I want to get to the promised land. You know what I'm saying? So if I got an owner that said, okay, you know what I'm going to do? Buy Landry, get my son out of the front office for meddling, buy Cal Corver, unless you want to be a shooting coach, that's fine. I'm going to go out and throw the bank at Bob Myers. Get off of that TV set in ESPN. You help build. Okay, I had your lackey with Travis Sling. I want the mastermind. I'm giving you all the money. I'm going to make you the president of basketball operations. You're going to hire a GM of your choice, and I'm going to sit up in my booth and I'm a swag surf, or sit down on the Gucci Row and swag surf. I'm not going to worry about anymore, because if I'm a billionaire and I can own a team, I'm going to hire a president of operations that I'm not going to go behind his back and supersede him.
Right.
See, he did it with Dwight Howard over Al Horford. They held off on giving Al Horford his contract. They offered Dwight Howard that deal. He came. You know what I'm saying? Al Horford got mad, accepted less money to go to Boston. Okay. On his way out, his daddy was saying everything that he felt. Okay. So again, when you look at the totality of this ownership, oh yeah, I mean, like, oh yeah, all the bells and whistles. Oh, that's cool. Hey, we got everyone beat. And as you know, paired up with Trae Young entertainment value, you got season tickets up. But again, or you trying to really win, and I love what Chris said. He was like, this is why when you have that new capologist that came over from Golden State, he better capologist. You know what I'm saying? He better make that cap work, bro. Because if you're really serious about winning, check out every team that's a top 5 team in the NBA. Ain't nobody under the tax. You can't win being cheap. You can't. You just can't. So if it ends like this, and a lot of people saying, like, I hear people who don't like DeJounte, they say, well, trade him for picks and a random like defender or something like that, like Jeremy Grant. Somebody said Portland gonna give us the whatever they pick, they 2 picks plus Jeremy Grant and Malcolm Brogdon. I said, oh, is Brogdon gonna play? No, we're gonna ship him off with another deal. I was like, well, why are we doing this? You're gonna look Trae Young in the face and say, I got you Jeremy Grant, and took away DeJounte Murray, the best player you ever played with, and say that with a straight face, like we improved. No, he's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna officially say I want out of here, and he's gonna demand where he wants to go. Now you're really screwed. Now you have to trade him to San Antonio just to get your picks back, because that's the only avenue to actually be, you know, save face. So you traded DeJounte to basically trade Trae Young back for picks.
Right.
I mean, look, that's the avenue we're on now. Either you're going to try to really win and spend correctly now. Don't spend on the wrong thing. But either you're going to try to win now, but you can't half-ass win. You know what I'm saying? You either got to go all the way in, or you just got to say, guess what? San Antonio, here you go. We messed up. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, you guys, him and Wemby can get it back. Give me all my picks, plus this year's pick, plus this year's both picks. Yeah, all right.
I don't feel
so
like
that's 5 first rounders. Yeah, that's five first round with 4 in a swap. So yeah, and then I would have to move DJ because if you try to be good, like I see a lot of people say, well, I could trade Trae Young, get pieces, and then get DeJounte. Why are you trying to get the picks back if they're not going to convey if DeJounte's still here and help you be a playing team again? You see what I'm saying? So again, if you trade Trae Young, you have to trade DJ to make every pick that you get and compile be good. Well, excuse me. Because you can be the Pistons and still not get, no one pick. I'm just saying the average to get those picks to convey, well, hey son, yeah. Listen to Sam I Am rap. But yeah, if you want those picks to convey, then yeah, you will have to do a full tank, So it's either or. I prefer us trying to properly do it. Do I trust Landry Fields? No, I do not. I just don't. I don't.
Sorry. Ron, you had a question?
Yeah. My question is, do we trust our front office?
That's an easy no.
Okay.
Hey, Ron, they say they're going to make all the moves, Ron. Didn't they say that?
Well, I said I've been hit the lotto today. I did not hit the lotto, so how can I trust you, my boy, Larry? How can I depend on this front office or you won't let the man cook? You brought me in to do a job, but I can't do my job. You brought me in, you told me I do to cook the ribs on the grill. I bought the meat, I bought the barbecue, but you won't let me get on the grill.
He said barbecue, Ron, and then handed you some fish.
Right.
And didn't even give you no grease.
Right.
Man. Oh man.
You told me I do cook on the grill. So I finna jump up there and cook on the grill, but you like, player. Nah, player. They're not going to fly. So what we going to do in free agent? Every year teams get better and better. We get worse and worse.
I know the solution.
What's that, DA? And DA, welcome to the show.
First of all, for those that don't know, man, I'm DA, man. This I know some of y'all, I know most of y'all through A1 Forever Sports, Smitty, them at 95 Sports Crew. They kind of taught me and started my own channel, so that's what I'm doing now. But man, like I said, I want to talk to y'all. Appreciate y'all guys for letting me come on too, man. I just want to say, man, I'm gonna be honest, like I agree with everything y'all saying. For a long time now, it seemed like the Atlanta Hawks are just complacent with being able to sell enough tickets to generate some type of revenue. And you understand that, but when we talk about as being fans, because I've been a Hawks fan going all the way back to Sharif, Jason Terry, Dave, Joe Johnson, Josh Smith, the old days when Al Horford was here. And it's like for the Atlanta Hawks, man, when are you guys gonna take the next step? And I hear y'all talking about all the free agent targets and stuff like that. And I agree with y'all. I wouldn't like to see Paul George here. Like I said, I would love to have Paul George, but would hate to have him because he is injury prone. But what do you guys, before I continue, what do y'all think about the Hawks going after Kentavious Caldwell-Pope?
I would love it.
I don't have an issue with the move. I don't have an issue with the move. I love it. I
think about it, man, primarily for the Hawks, man, they have to become better defensively. Like, think about it, y'all. It's like the Atlanta Hawks are an exciting team to watch. And it's like there's always that gap in between the space where they can't see if they want to go up or down. The problem is, how many times have we seen this team blow 20-point halftime lead?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And they would do this consistently, maybe 15 out of the 82 games a year. And you take that and add them 15 to the final record. We talking about a team that's a top seed. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. In terms of the draft, and my man up top in the middle, I forgot your name. I know we was on with Smitty them yesterday. I had came on and stuff like that. But I know you said I think you were the one that said you weren't the one that said you haven't seen Clingan. It was the one with the Atlanta Hawks background on his thing. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. if I'm the Atlanta Hawks, I wouldn't trade the number 1 overall pick, because when you look at the NBA, the history of the number 1 overall pick in the NBA has been pretty fair. You know, when you look at the number 1 picks over the last 20 years, a lot of them have won championships. Some of them still dominating the NBA. And I think you always take that gamble of knowing we had the number 1 overall pick. And if Sarr is the best player to me, and we know his numbers were low, I think he averaged like 9 points a game, maybe about 4 or 5 rebounds. I'm gonna tell y'all this though, but his tape, his stats don't match what you see on the tape.
Right.
Like, I mean, when you look at this guy can block shots, he can rebound, and the difference between him and Clingan, this guy can actually bring the ball down the floor from the half court. So, and I'm gonna be honest, like, and a lot of folks saying we should trade Murray, but this is why I wouldn't trade DeJounte Murray. When Trae Young was hurt, I think DeJounte Murray stepped down. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think the Hawks were beginning to establish what they had in other players when Trae Young was out. You see what I'm saying?
Agreed.
And the reason why I wouldn't trade DeJounte Murray, because truth be told, and a lot of folks may not agree, but in my personal opinion, in the last 2 seasons with Murray, he's been the most consistent Hawk over the whole franchise.
Yes,
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna get from him in the point margin. We know he ain't gonna pass the ball a lot, right? But DeJounte Murray and Trae Young is what I call the base, right? And they will be fools at this point. The Hawks can't afford to trade DeJounte Murray or Trae Young. Right now, they can't afford to start over. The Boston Celtics, they didn't. I mean, if you look at the formula they put together, we're not gonna trade the core. We're gonna keep adding piece by piece by piece by piece, and they realize, damn, we got an opportunity to get Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, and now they the reigning NBA champions. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm the Atlanta Hawks, you go ahead and take Sarr. Everybody saying we want LeBron. Only way that's possible is if they draft his son. But at this point, I don't want LeBron James here right now. Love LeBron to death. Don't want him here. But to me, if you add Alex Sarr or Donovan Clingan, and my personal favorite is Clingan, because I watched him play the last 2 seasons at UConn. The guy averaged about 14.5 career points, about 7, 8 rebounds a game, about 3, 4 blocks a game. The guy has assists, and that's in a 40-minute game with him taking breaks. Imagine if you have a Donovan Clingan, a guy who's a big guy, a very big post presence that dominates around the rim. When you look at this new trend of them Caucasian boys coming into the league doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? Man, jump on the bandwagon, man. Jump on the bandwagon.
So, John Concact 2.0, baby. Here we go.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you, hey man, them Caucasian boys coming in the league and they going to the NBA finals, man. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's no disrespect to my Caucasian brothers and sisters. I love y'all to death, man. But real talk though, I think when you look at this Atlanta Hawks team, the situation that they're in, I'm looking at a Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, a DeMar DeRozan. Guys, Caldwell's going to cost a little bit. He's 2-time champion. You know, one with the Nuggets, one with the Lakers. He's going to cost a little bit of money. But Caldwell-Pope is that missing wing. Now, I would love to see Brandon Ingram too. But if you take a guy like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope that can shoot the three, that can attack the basket, that can rebound, block shots, get steals.
He's not going to cost you as much as Brandon too. So that's the other thing to remember.
Exactly. For Brandon Ingram, you talking about giving up half the roster. You see what I'm saying? For Caldwell-Pope, you're only giving up two shooters, maybe one post guy, because truth be told, the Nuggets don't need much. They just need to upgrade at those positions. So, and like you said, man, like you look at Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he's much cheaper, and this is a proven veteran that you can win with. You can win with this guy. This guy can hit the big shot. You're talking about a guy that can be an anchor when Trae Young and DeJounte Murray and Sarr or Clingan. And like I said, guys, the X factor to me, the reason why I believe that Alex Sarr would be a great move, because I think that would generate Jalen Johnson in a way that we have not seen. To me, Jalen Johnson is the most important guy on this roster. When we can say, now I'm gonna be honest, the Hawks actually won some games when Trae was down, but when Jalen Johnson was out of the lineup, everything went downhill. So, like I said, with the Hawks, when this is my last thing, I ain't gonna try to talk too much with the Hawks. either you trade away this first overall pick, in which I feel like will be a mistake. And I know a lot of fans probably want to trade the pick, but anytime you get to pick number 1 in the NBA draft, you cannot trade that pick away. You can't do it. So, because think about the best 2 players, the best 3 players are going to be gone before they trade the pick with San Antonio and go to 4. Sarr's off the board. Clingan is off the board. You see what I'm saying? So to me, those 2 guys should be the main focus. Me personally, I would like to see Donovan Clingan. I'm just going to be straight up with y'all. I mean, to me, I watch a lot of basketball, and this guy is solid around the rim. This guy is huge.
DA, not to cut you off. Question. So you're the GM, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna put this out to the panel. You're the GM. You're the GM. You make your pick on Wednesday night, but give me the total, right? From a roster perspective, who do you keep and who's got to go? And Mark, I don't know if you can look this up, but where are we as far as the salary cap? Are we under? Are we over? Where are we? Right. So what I need is because I understand. Hey, it's great if we could go and get DeRozan. DeRozan gonna cost some money.
Yep, about over 40.
And I don't know that we necessarily have the resources right now to do that. So that means we're gonna have to get rid of some.
We don't. So, we're over cap.
I'll say this. I'll be honest with you guys.
We're number 1 threshold.
If I'm the Atlanta Hawks right now, right, and here's my deal. Here's my deal, right? Here's my take. We know that I love Bogdanovich with all my heart. You know, we know this guy shoot the 3 and drive to the basket, be that backup guard. But if I'm the Atlanta Hawks and I get a chance to get DeMar DeRozan, that's the mid-range maestro can attack the basket, I'm giving up DeAndre Hunter. I'm giving up Bogdanovich. I'm giving up. I would probably, truth be told, I would give up Bruno Fernando too, right?
He's
because like I said, you're going to draft.
Give up none, brother.
He's a
free agent.
He's a free agent.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a free agent. But yeah, but if he's a free agent, like I said, I would let Hunter go. I would probably get rid of Bo, because we know when it comes to postseason play, Bogey ain't gonna show up. I'm willing to let those 2 guys go to free up some cap space for DeMar DeRozan.
Well, the only problem about that is once you trade, you gotta get within 8% of the value. So you just can't dump players. It ain't like baseball. You just can't dump players. So what we'll have to do is it would have to be a sign and trade. Like DeMar would have to sign back with the
Chicago,
with the Bulls, and then it'd be a sign and trade, something like that. And then
so what would they have to give up since he's a free agent? Like what move? Because like I said, I'm not big on the salary cap for the NBA. I mean, I can give you everything on the NFL.
We unrestricted, so there's nothing
they can do. What moves would they need to make to get him though?
Well, here's the thing: he's unrestricted. We're already in the tier 1 salary cap. That's why they're talking about moving DeJounte, because of that, and get like either movable assets or people on an expiring contract, so you can have them play for half the year and then trade them off, so it won't hit your salary cap as much. You feel me? Like
yes, sir.
So, and we have the player trade exception and the mid-level exception. So that's why when we go for people, it has to be people that's on a team that we can trade for. That's what they're talking about BI, so we can use that trade exception so it won't hit us as much. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's why it's like that.
All right.
Well, like I said, y'all just taught me something, because like I said, I'm big on the NFL when it comes to the NBA. I can tell you about the players, but the salary cap, I'm still trying to educate myself on that.
Me too.
All right. I got you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so C-Double. Well, first,
what's up?
Welcome to the panel.
Hello.
Give me your thoughts on what you would do if you're. So, guys, we're gonna play a game. And I think Dixon Wade kind of alluded to it, but I'm gonna give him another opportunity to go crazy. So, C-Double, you're the Hawks GM for a day.
Ooh.
Everything is at your disposal. You can do what you want to do.
Like the seat, all right.
There you go. Hold on.
First thing I do, I super kick the son, wrestler. I throw his butt out of my office. I tell wrestler, if you try to make any phone calls, I'm going to make you look like your son. I'm going to break you down. That's the bottom line because I said so. And then I walk down the aisle, and then I look in the podium, and I just grab that microphone myself. I don't even want the commissioner to do it because I already know when it comes with the Hawks, there's a lot of shady stuff that happens. And I will pick Sarr. I ain't playing no games. I want the best player. I have always said that. My problem. See, that's what C-Double will do. We've already got a history of our owner. Even if we made the pick for Sarr, he might make a phone call to Greg Popovich, trade him for the picks behind my back. And then I got to break his back and then throw him out the window. Because why? Because our owner's an idiot. This owner only cares about keeping his money line just right. Because you're right. We are over the cap. We are over the cap. Hold on. We are over the cap. But have y'all noticed every year we've done, we make a big trade, but it's to dump the money. It's to get rid of a guy. We never get equal balance back. We just try to get rid of a guy. And then we tell everybody, well, Jalen Johnson's going to play better now. Watch how he developed. Dude, you had Jalen on the bench. All you had to do was give him playing time. And yeah, you could have traded John how many years? This team is the most stupidest franchise I've ever seen. And I was going to do a live on my own and rant about this. Because when it comes to the owners, they just care about their wallets. Landry Fields is the big puppet. Because he's like, hey, hi guys, we're going to result. We're about resulting. I swear to God, if I ever hear a man tell me we're resulting, and no one in the media says, isn't it a loss of result? Because if they don't, I want to slap the media. Because that just tells me they're the biggest phonies also. Mm-hmm. It's about wins. It's about championships. How do you get better? You develop from the inside out. If you are a turnstile going to the paint and you got no one stopping, how are you ever going to get better? I mean, we got Clint with arthritis, basically, that can't ever get a bunny down. So, I mean, I don't want to hear about, Clint's more stable. His analytics tell me, no, throw those papers and put them in the recycle bin because I don't want to hear about analytics. I want actual proof. Can you grab the basketball and dunk it? No? Get out of my team. I don't care about your money. You never made an all-defensive team. The only thing you're known for is trying to do your little finger wag, and Mutombo did it better than you. So,
right, so you're drafting Sarr, right?
Oh, I'm drafting Sarr. Now, you were asking about who I'm getting rid of, right?
Right. Correct.
Oh, I got the hit list ready for you.
All right.
Bogey's gone because I need a guy. And the guy talking about KCP, that would actually be really good if somehow we were able to switch Bogey for KCP. I'm just saying, that's just my thought. Because I would love to have KCP in Georgia. He can play defense like we were talking about. Mm-hmm. But also, he's won championships. DeAndre Hunter, he's gone. He is the John Collins of this roster. They just passed it down to each other. You drafted this man 4th overall, and the best thing I heard somebody say was he could be a really dynamic bench player for us. I swear to God, if I'm drafting top 5 and you tell me your watermark is the best bench player, you're fired. You know that window I threw the owner out? You're going through it too. It's going to be a battle royal over at my office because I'm swinging. But yeah, the only guys I'll keep is 00.
Okay.
But I'm keeping 00 just in case because that extension that they signed him for is very fair. So I don't see like that being a big issue. Now, I also would like to, obviously we're keeping Jalen. All right. I need to see, I want to know, is Jalen able to play the small forward? Because I feel he can. And I feel like that's where he needs to be playing.
But
and all right, so that's just my thought. All right, and I'll put Sarr in the dang power forward spot if I had to. But again, this is just we're talking. Now, the big question: Trae Young or DJ? Well, one part of me says I can't let go of a superstar. Trae Young, especially when you put all the stuff together and you did what you did. But now the other part is this. Remember that part I said about the front office?
Mm-hmm.
We drafted Luka Doncic. We didn't draft Trae. So now that shifts my look at everything. And what I would do is basically I put them both up and I go, best bidder, let me see what you got. And that's where I'm going. I'm not going to deliver Trae Young to the Lakers, but I sure will take Trae Young to the Brooklyn Nets and get some draft picks that I was talking about the other day. And I would try to get Miles Bridges somehow. If I can't get him, okay, well, I don't do a deal with that team. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a way to get it. Because here's the thing. If we try to say that we're going to rebuild, you know this question I said about the results, right? Resulting. How do you rebuild if you don't have a draft pick for next year?
You don't. And I agree with that 100%. Ron, what say you, sir? So you're the GM for a day, and thank you for that, by the way.
No problem. I'm going to hang with y'all, so don't worry. You're good.
All good. Ron, you're the GM for a day. Who do you draft, right? Who do you draft, and who are you getting rid of?
Well, since Clint Capella cannot jump over a Kit Kat, he gone. I started looking at him. Okay. You're not doing nothing.
Okay.
What you doing?
Right.
You cannot even jump over a nickel.
Okay.
What are you doing? How you helping out us and you let every big man from the NBA do what they want to do on you? Okay.
All right. That's fair. Who else are you getting rid of? Who else are you getting rid of?
If it were up to me, I hate, and y'all might cuss me out about this, but the head coach.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Already?
You just hired Quinn. All right. So then if you're gonna do that,
he out the window.
But
who are you gonna hire as a head coach?
Mark Jackson.
Wow.
That I can't argue with that. Now Ron's always a Mark Jackson guy.
You know why? He put the Warriors together. He did do that. He know how to draft. He know how to scout players. You bring in Mark Jackson. Hey, Mark Jackson, baby, it's on you.
Okay, fair enough.
We do whatever you want to do.
Okay, fair enough. Mark, you're GM for the day. It's Wednesday. It's draft day, right? You're pulling up to the State Farm Arena in your Lambo,
Hi, Peter Cohen here.
Maserati, whatever. Who are you drafting? Who are you getting rid of?
Man. I'm drafting Klingon. Man. I want to solidify the defense, especially considering all, I can't even get Sarr in the building. I can't get Czar to sit down and have lunch with me. So I'm gonna draft Klingon. And then, like Ron said, Clint, you gotta go. You gotta go. Especially with that contract, your time's up, bro. We appreciate your services, but your time's up.
Okay.
But the one thing I disagree with Ron was, I feel like Mark Jackson is too similar to Nate McMillan, and that scares me. I would like a Mark Jackson, but with Trae Young, I don't know. I don't know if that would work.
Can I rebuttal on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Mark Jackson would tell Trae Young, you're okay, but you could do better. He would challenge him.
But the question here's the question though, Ron, and it's That's fair, but has that worked before? Trey's on his third coach.
But that's the problem.
Trey's on his right. But if you got ownership, that's going to allow who's going to win in that scenario?
But that's why you brought me in. Let me cook. Let me do my job.
Right. But Mark's the GM now, Ron. You can't be the GM. That's Mark's turn. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, we're in the world of Mark now, Ron. We're not going back to ours right now.
Larry. You got Larry. Mark. And after we do this, fellas, unfortunately, I got to close this out. But you're GM for the day, Larry. And you had some good points. You alluded to some stuff. What do you do if it's you? You're the GM for the Hawks. What are you doing? It's the day of the draft.
Oh, see, he's got the GM hat on.
Right, he ready now.
He ready.
If I'm the GM of the Atlanta Hawks, I'm probably drafting Klingon also. Okay. Ricochet kind of intrigues me now, but I don't want to depend on a rookie, a 19-year-old rookie, to play defense on some of the better wing players in the NBA. I don't want to have Ricochet have to guard Jaylen Brown or someone like that. You know, I think that's a losing proposition. Okay. So I think we'll have the opportunity to flourish with Trey, pick and roll center, way better than Clint Capella already, and he has room to grow. If those practice 3-pointers or in the combine 3-pointers actually translate to actual games, because he didn't shoot them in college. But if they actually translate, kind of like how John Collins did, he didn't shoot any threes in college either, but came to the pros and developed a 3-point shot. So if that would actually translate to the NBA, then you're cooking with grease. Then you can pick and roll up, pick and pop. You know what I'm saying? In the mold of a Brook Lopez. Because Brook Lopez wasn't shooting threes when he first came in. He was a low post presence. Okay. So kind of in that vein. Okay. Also, Brook Lopez is going to be in the open market, so they could be also someone we look towards to get in free agency. I think the draft is secondary to the free agent moves we make, either trades, you know what I'm saying, or whatever free agents we bring in. If it's you know what I'm saying, whoever it is, KCP or whoever it is, I think that's more important because, to be honest, this is one of the weakest drafts in the past 25 years. Yeah. Yes, there are a lot of good role players in this, but no superstar in this. There's no clear cut number one. And for that reason, there's no way I would draft Star because he's in Atlanta right now working out at Overtime Elite right now. He's in the city right now, but the Hawks can't get a workout with him.
The disrespect.
No, it's just like, that's disrespectful. So, miss me with that.
Yeah, agree.
You know, I was on the SAR train. So, you know, but thank you guys for having me on. I'm trying to set up my stream now because I got a Braves stream coming up soon.
Hey, this one, let me tell you something. Larry, let me tell you something. You come on anytime you want, brother. You come on anytime you want. Okay. Right. Matter of fact, everybody on this panel, anytime you want, you can come on. So,
guys, all right. Now you don't have to say that twice. Now we'll show up. Now,
hey, guys. With that being said, please, when you do your shout outs, just let me know where we can find you. So, C Double, we're gonna start with you. Where can we find you?
All right. Well, just go to my channel, C Double 28. That's where I'm at. I've been posting wrestling stuff. We're going to do a live stream on Wednesday afternoon. We're going to talk about Raw, SmackDown, the debut of Jacob Fatu, as well as basically the numbers that AEW and NXT produced. And what's missing in AEW is going to be one of our highlight points. And I'm thinking of doing a reaction about SAR, about the NBA draft. And Depending on what we do, we'll find out if it's censored or not censored. It's just how that goes. But find me on socials. Type in C Double, you'll find me. I got the microphone and the black cap, so it's all good.
Good deal. Larry, I'm gonna save you for last because everybody knows where to find you. Ron, where can we find you?
You can find me on Talk Your Ish on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. And you can find me on the Eye Test on Saturday nights. C-Dub.
We're either Saturday night and Wednesday nights usually is when John usually fires up the old chicken wing.
Right. And you can find me on Pops and the Hemi Brothers on Saturday nights.
All right. Good deal.
Between 6 and 8.
Okay. Thank you both. Mark, tell everybody where we can find you.
Yeah, Terry, appreciate you having me on, man. Definitely a dope stream, dope conversation, everybody. Everybody can find me at Mark Cheney on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want to find me. And I also have a couple live streams on Bleacher Report coming up. We got one tomorrow morning. We're going to be talking about the Hawks, man. We're basically going to try to continue this conversation. So y'all have no idea how much I appreciate you all. Because now I feel like I'm in tune. I feel like I'm seasoned. I'm ready. It's always good, to hear different perspectives. So like I said, I appreciate you all. But even if you don't go to Bleacher Report, like I said, if you follow my channel, Terry, do you mind taking this comment down real quick?
I do not, sir. Where did Ariel go? Jesus, I am so low. I'm sorry.
But yeah, if y'all just follow my new YouTube channel, I'll be streaming the Bleacher Report stream live at the same time.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start doing that. I'm trying to get Berto to do that too. I know Berto got a show Friday, so we try to make it easy for everybody to support the Bleacher Report streams. But,
hey man,
appreciate y'all, man. And like I said, right there, Mark Cheney, y'all can find my new channel.
All right, Mark Cheney. I'll find you, brother.
Me too.
All right, Larry, shout outs.
Shout out to all y'all, everybody on the panel. Yeah, guys, my name's Larry, one half of the Dixon Way. My beautiful wife, Sean, is the other half. And we try to provide a different type of stream for, Atlanta sports content. We do live commentary, all our favorite sports teams. The Braves, the Hawks, the Falcons, Bulldogs, even the Gators. Yeah. And if you guys want to sit there and, watch it, also get a different perspective, and just like you just sitting there with people, your friends at the bar or in the house, chilling, then yeah, that's what we do, man. So thank everybody for coming on, and appreciate you having me on. But yeah, we got the Braves versus Cardinals coming up at about 7:30, so
gotcha.
Just trying to get ready to set this up. But thank you for having me on. You guys have a blessed rest of your evening.
Larry, you do the same. Thank you for joining us. Everybody, I can be reached at For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. And guys, we can do this again next week once the draft is over. Enjoyed all of you guys, really did. Thank you all for joining the show. Hey, it was an educational experience for me. It's going to continue to be. So Larry, if you will join us next Monday, hey man, y'all can keep me straight, educate me some more, and let's build this thing up. So, because I really want to see my Hawks do better. You know what I mean?
I think all of us do. I think all of us do.
Let me tell you something. That offended the hell out of me when Sarge, like that. It really did. I can't explain it to you, but it's like he said something about my mom. It's like, wait, what? You don't want to? No, you don't do that. Go ahead, Ron.
We don't know that, Terry. We don't know the man that said that.
True. You're right.
We don't got his number on speed dial.
That's
true. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Still piss me off though.
Well, let's be honest. When you really think of it this way, when we heard, I'm not coming, I'd rather be at Washington. We all were like, mother, really? Wait, what?
Hey, ain't no need for me to say anything else. You said it for me, Cedar, because that was my exact response. Mother, you know what? So, hey, man, enjoyed it, guys. Really enjoyed it, guys. Hey, hopefully we'll see you next Monday. You guys have a great week, and hey, man, go Hawks. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, go Hawks. Take care.